All right, 5:45. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to weekly Scamware 101 live stream. We get started in a few minutes here. Give everybody a chance to join. In the meantime, hit that thumbs up button. Give us a like. Let's see if we get some more people here in the live stream. Got two live streams going. We got a vertical live stream and a widescreen live stream. So we got two chats going. So I'll be bouncing back and forth between the two chats. So if I'm a little slow in answering, that's why. Hey, Dave, welcome back. Good to see you. Dave's one of the regulars here. Always appreciate the support. I'm excited to do this week's live stream. We had to skip last week's, but we're heading in head first this week into some common scams. Lots of good info for you so you can protect yourself, protect your loved ones, and spread awareness. Spread awareness of these scams. As a community, we need to protect each other. We need to let them know what's going on, let them know the scams that are circulating. Awareness is key. Awareness is key, and it's important. Because these scammers, they're getting better at what they do. They're getting trickier. They're always coming up with new narratives, new scams, and new ways to trick people. Everybody's vulnerable to being scammed. One off day, one day, you answer the phone, you're half asleep, you're not thinking, and next thing you know, you're getting scammed out of your bank account. So super important to be aware. And we get started in a couple minutes here. We get started at 5:50. A couple more minutes for everybody to join. And again, in the meantime, hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed to our free email list yet, check out scamware101.com and you hit join mailing list. Make sure to confirm. We have it set up so you have to confirm your email. So make sure to check that junk mail folder and see if the confirmation email went there. We'll send out reminders. We'll let you know when we're doing our live streams. We'll share some useful scam awareness tips with you on our free mailing list on scamware101.com. Get started in about 2.5 more minutes here. So in the meantime, say hi in the chat. Hit that thumbs up. Let us know you're watching. Tell me how you found us. We're here every week doing this live stream. We're going to cover about 20 different types of scams, show you all different examples of emails and text messages and phone call recordings of these scammers. Get started in 2 minutes here at 5:50. So many good scams to go over and make you aware of here. Arrest warrant scams, jury duty scams, bank impersonation scams, tech support scams. Hey, get any road toll text messages lately? I'm still getting new reports of those every week. There's new versions of the unpaid road toll text message scam. The example that somebody sent me today was impersonating the DMV. So they're always modifying these scams and making them more convincing and trying new things. We get started in another minute here. Get started at 5:50. Give some of those latecomers one last chance to join before we jump into it. Again, in the meantime, say hello. Hit that thumbs up button. Give us a like. You join our free mailing list on scamware101.com. We'll send you reminders when we're doing the lives, and we'll send you some useful scam awareness tips. Get started in a minute. Looks like the connection's good. If the connection starts getting bad, let me know in the chat and I'll reconnect. But last couple live streams have been pretty good. All right, 5:50. Let's get this started. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Jared with Scamware 101, and this is our weekly live stream where we discuss common scams and ways you can protect yourself from these scams. We're about to go over about 20 different types of scams this evening, and we're also going to go over some red flags to help you identify if you're dealing with a scammer. And awareness is key. Awareness is super important when it comes to not getting scammed. You hear these victims' stories, and so many times there's just these little details where if they were aware of them, it could have made all the difference, right? So that's what we try to do here, spread awareness of these little details and common threads that help you realize when you're dealing with a scammer. And we're going to go over red flags to watch out for. We're going to go over many scam examples. We have phone calls to share with you. We have text messages to show you. We have email scams to show you. And and we encourage any participation in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear your stories. As we're talking about certain scams, let us know in the chat if you've encountered these scams before. We love hearing your feedback. And again, we do this live stream every week. And the whole purpose is just to spread awareness. You can sign up for a free email list on scamaware101.com, and we'll send you reminders when we do these live streams, and we'll also send you some useful scam awareness tips. And you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We release scam awareness videos. We try to do it as much as possible, and a lot of the scams we're going to go over, and a lot of the examples we're going to show you, we actually have videos about these on our YouTube channel. So later on, you can go back and you can share those videos with a loved one if you think you'd find that information useful. So, with that said, let's dive into some of these scam examples. Don't be shy. Hit that thumbs up, give us a like, say hi in the chat, and let us know you're watching. So we're getting started with an arrest warrant scam. And these arrest warrant scams are getting a lot of attention lately. And basically what they are is a victim is contacted by a scammer impersonating law enforcement, usually over the phone. The scammer claims an arrest warrant was issued and fines must be paid to resolve it. The scammer then threatens the victim with arrest if fines aren't paid immediately. Right? And that's known as an arrest warrant scam. The scammer will threaten the victim. They'll say they're going to send deputies over there right now to arrest you immediately if you don't make the payment. And it could be a scary situation for someone. But if you get a call like this, it's a scam. A lot of times they'll say that the reason there's an arrest warrant is because you missed jury duty. That's a very common narrative, and sometimes this scam is even called a jury duty scam because of that. And the thing with these arrest warrant scams is when the scammer calls you, he impersonates the sheriff's office usually, and the phone number shown on your caller ID will actually be the sheriff's office. So that's something important to keep in mind, and we're going to mention that a lot during this live stream, is that scammers can manipulate the phone number shown on caller ID. Right? So that means when they're calling you and they're impersonating the bank, your caller ID might show the bank's phone number. When the scammer's calling you and they're impersonating the sheriff, claiming there's an arrest warrant, the caller ID might show the sheriff's phone number. The scammers are capable. They do have that technology and they use it. And we'll mention that a lot on this live stream. It's important to keep in mind. So the other thing about these arrest warrant scams is that scammers have been providing fake documentation, fake paperwork to their victims to try and appear more convincing. So that's something you also need to keep in mind. So let's talk about some key takeaways about arrest warrant scams or jury duty scams. All right, always remember, scammers can manipulate the phone number shown on caller ID. Just because someone's calling you and claiming to be from the sheriff's office or your local law enforcement agency, just because the phone number shown matches that, it doesn't mean they are. Right? Hang up and reach out directly to the local agency. Scammers provide fake paperwork to convince victims an arrest warrant is real. Keep that in mind. When you're talking to these scammers, they'll offer to provide paperwork. But again, if this is an unsolicited phone call from someone, hang up and call back the agency directly if you're worried that there might actually be a warrant. If someone urges you to make an immediate payment over the phone, that's always a red flag. When someone calls you out of the blue, claiming you owe money, and tries to get you to pay over the phone, that should set off alarm bells. Right? And that's the case in these arrest warrant scams. They're calling, they're threatening you with something scary like arrest, and they're demanding payment immediately. So those are big red flags. Keep those in mind. So what do you do if you get a phone call claiming a warrant was issued for your arrest? Well, ask for the name of the organization that issued the warrant. Hang up the call, hang up, and call the organization directly. Do not engage with the scammer who contacted you. 99% of the time, you're going to call the organization directly, and you're going to say that's not true. There was no arrest warrant. This scam's getting a lot of attention lately because the scammers actually impersonate law enforcement, right? And law enforcement doesn't appreciate getting impersonated. So this one's been getting a lot of media coverage. We did a video about this one, and we included some news clips of warnings from local sheriff's office. So you can check out that video later on our YouTube channel, Arrest Warrant / Jury Duty Scams. It's good stuff, and helps spread awareness by letting people know about it. So that's our first scam of the day that we talked about here, was arrest warrant scams or jury duty scams. And it's a good starting point because it gives you an idea of how ruthless these scammers can be. They'll impersonate anybody. They'll impersonate police. They'll impersonate banks. There's nobody they won't impersonate. And we'll see that more as we go through some more of these different types of scams and you view some of the examples that we're going to share with you. If you're just joining us, say hi in the chat, hit that thumbs up, give us a like. We do this live stream every week just to spread awareness of these common scams. We're going to be on here for about 3 hours, going over about 20 different types of scams, showing you examples. And let us know if you've encountered these scams. We want to give you the knowledge to protect yourself, protect your loved ones, and recognize these scams when you're being targeted. And it's more important now than ever to be able to recognize these scams. The scammers are getting better. They're using AI now to make their scams more believable. There's certain things you used to be able to count on to help spot these scams, like grammar errors or spelling errors. But now they use AI. And there's no more errors. So they're becoming more convincing. It's more important than ever to stay aware. And joining this live stream is the first step. It's kind of like drinking out of a fire hose. We're going to throw a lot of information at you, a lot of examples. But hey, we do this every week. We have videos that you can go watch afterwards. So we're here for you. And on that note, let's go into our second scam. Bank impersonation scams. Very popular scam right now. Everybody's getting phone calls claiming to be their bank. They're getting fake emails claiming to be the bank. Whether it's saying somebody has access to your account when they really didn't, or they're saying that a transaction occurred when it really didn't. So bank impersonation scams. Scammers impersonate the bank, usually claiming suspicious activity was detected under a victim's account. The caller ID might display the bank's phone number, even though it's a scammer calling. Again, always important to remember that. Victims are then tricked into withdrawing and transferring funds to the scammers impersonating their bank. This is so common right now. Scammers are actively calling victims. First, they try to call them. The caller ID will show the bank's phone number, even though it's a scammer calling. And so many times we hear from victims the reason why they fell for this scam was because they saw the bank's phone number on the caller ID. Right? They thought they could trust the caller ID, and they figured, okay, this must be real. If the caller ID has my bank's phone number, it must be real. But it's not. The scammers know how to manipulate caller ID. So they're calling you up, and a lot of times, these scammers will know what bank you use. Sadly, a lot of our personal information is out there. They know a lot about us. We'll talk more about that later. But a lot of times, scammers know what bank you use. So they'll call you up, and they know what bank to impersonate. And they may even have your account number as well to be even more convincing. So anyway, this is how the scam goes. They reach out to you over the phone. If you don't answer, a lot of times you'll get a text message that looks like this. And this is a real example. This is our first example of the night here. And it's a text message from a scammer impersonating TD Bank. Now this text message was sent to the victim after they didn't answer the phone, right? So keep that in mind. These scammers, not only are they calling the victim, they're also sending a text message immediately after. And as you can see, this text message, they try to impersonate TD Bank, claiming there was a transaction on your account. And the idea is they want you to reply with N, with no, just like you would to an authorized transaction on your account. And once you reply, they know a couple things. They know, one, it's an active phone number and you're replying to text messages, right? And they know, two, that you're with TD Bank, and it is who they had, in their system to scam. And now what they're going to do is they're going to reply back to you, and they're going to try to get you on the phone, and they're going to try to convince you to move your money. They're going to tell you that your account isn't secure anymore. Someone's gotten in there. Someone's in there making transactions, and they're going to tell you need to move your money. That's how the scammers convince victims to move their money. They make them think that their money isn't safe in the account anymore. Now, there's a couple things about this text message that stand out that you could use to identify that it's a fake. The first thing is, and we confirmed these with the bank, the first thing is, if this had been a text message from your bank, it would have come from a short code, a little 5-digit short code number. It wouldn't have come from an actual phone number, a full phone number. So you know how a lot of times you get these automated texts and they're short codes. They come from these 5-digit phone numbers. They don't come from actual phone numbers that you could call back, right? That's how you know that this one isn't from the bank. It came from an actual phone number. It didn't come from a short phone number, a short code. The other giveaway is it doesn't tell you what account, right? It tells you there's been TD Bank card activity, but if this had been a real message from your bank, it would have had some kind of indicator, like the last 4 digits of the account. It would have given some indication what account it was talking about. Again, sometimes scammers will already know that, and they'll include that in their scams. But the fact that it's missing from here, that's an indicator that this is not a real text message from the bank. The other indicators are the weird capitalization. No, the capitalization is off. Like the letter T in transaction is capitalized for no reason. The letter R in reply is capitalized for no reason. Then the letter N in not is capitalized for no reason. So there's just strange capitalization. And we mentioned that a little earlier about, sometimes those red flags still appear and they are indicators that you're dealing with a scammer. Those are going to become less and less, though, as AI makes these scams more believable. But anyway, just to review real quick, those were the indicators that this was a fake text message, right? One, it came from a real phone number and instead of a short code phone number. Two, it didn't have any indication of the account, like the last 4 digits in the message. And three, the capitalization was off. Right? So those are 3 indicators that something's not right with this text message that was received. Hey, Megan. Hey, Patricia. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. We're on our second scam example of the day here. So let me know in chat if you got these bank impersonation scams, whether it was phone calls from the bank that look like it's from the bank, but it's actually a scammer. In that case, hang up the phone and call back your bank directly. There's no reason to interact with an unsolicited phone call. And that's really a rule of thumb that should always be followed. Right? You can't just trust who's calling anymore. Anybody could say that they're anybody and they could make the caller ID look like it is, right? So you got to hang up and then you got to call back your bank directly if you're concerned something really is going on. So that's a bank impersonation scam. We got a lot more good scams coming up to go over on this live stream. If you just joined us, hit that thumbs up, say hi in the chat. The next scam we're going to talk about are tech support scams. This one's very important to be aware of. So tech support scams. That's when a fake virus alert displays a tech support number to call for help. You'll be browsing the internet, minding your own business, and then all of a sudden, boom, a pop-up comes up and it says you're infected with a virus. But never fear, it has a phone number to call and they're going to help. Right? A lot of times the phone number, they'll say that's Microsoft support. Or they'll impersonate your antivirus software. They'll say it's McAfee support. But if you call that phone number, it's going to connect you to a scammer. And what's interesting about this scam is it tricks the victim into calling them. So the victim actually has their guard down. Because the victim's calling them, it doesn't occur to them that they're actually calling a scammer. Whereas when the call's coming to you, you have your guard up, right? But when you're making a call, you let your guard down. You don't realize you're actually calling a scammer. So that's what these fake tech support scams rely on. And I'm going to show you a bunch of examples of these fake virus alerts that you might encounter. And it's important to be aware that this type of scam, it targets all devices when you're browsing the internet. It doesn't matter if you're on an Apple device, a Windows device, you're using your iPhone, you're using your computer. If you're browsing the internet, there's a chance that you could run into these fake pop-ups that are made to look like they're virus alerts. So let me show you a couple examples of what these might look like. I'm going to start with some generic examples, and then I'll show you some of the more convincing examples. So here's the first example of a fake virus alert that leads up to a tech support scam. And a lot of these examples, you'll see that they follow the same kind of theme. They have big, scary red letters, all capitalized, warning, 5 viruses detected. They usually list a whole bunch of scary things that could happen. In this case, it says system crashing, file deletion, theft of personal data, Wi-Fi loss, infections on your other devices, right? Scary stuff. And then it says, call us immediately at, but if you call that phone number, you'll be connected to a scammer. And a scammer is going to ask for access to your PC, and then it's all downhill from there. It's not good. Once they have access to your PC, they're going to try to get your bank accounts. They're going to try to steal your passwords. It's not good. That's why these fake tech support scams and fake virus alerts are so common. Here's another example. It follows the same theme. Warning, check your computer now. Data exposed to risk, your credit card details, your email passwords, Facebook, private photos. It says, call this number immediately for assistance on how to remove viruses. But if you call, you'll be connected to a scammer. And let me know in the chat if you've ever encountered any of these fake pop-ups. Here's another one. Warning, your computer may be infected. It says the system detected 2 potentially malicious viruses. Right. To remove viruses, call tech support now. But this is fake. And you see at the top, it's got a web address. So if you're a little computer savvy and, you can figure out, okay, this is actually just a fake web page just made to look like a virus. But, this could fool someone, especially someone that doesn't really use the computer often, isn't too computer savvy. This thing pops up. Big scary red letters like that. Oh, I better call this number. If you call the number, you get connected to a scammer. So those were just some generic examples of these fake virus alerts that usually lead to a tech support scam. But let me show you some more convincing ones. Right, so look at this one. This one impersonates McAfee antivirus. It's got the same colors. It has their logo there. So this could be pretty convincing. Especially if someone has McAfee and they get this pop-up, they might think, oh, shoot, I better call the McAfee helpline and get this fixed. But they're actually calling a scammer. And one of the big giveaways about this is that if a virus alert pops up and it says to call a phone number, it's a scam. Real virus alerts, they don't have phone numbers to call. McAfee doesn't pop up with a phone number to call when you have a virus. So if you see a pop-up that says you have a virus and it has a phone number to call, that's a big indicator that's fake. Here's another example. This one impersonates Norton by Symantec. It looks legit. It looks real, right? It looks like the antivirus software. And people see this, they get this pop-up, but if they call the number, they're going to connect to scammers. Again, big scary letters, threats detected, system hard drive may fail, do not close the page until issue is resolved. Something kind of funny about this pop-up here is the buttons were designed not to work. Like if you click go, nothing happens. And then it says right below it, system critically infected. If you're not able to click on this button, immediately contact support. So that's like a little trick they use to even convince people even more to call the phone number. So, oh no, the buttons aren't working. I better call his phone number. But you'll get connected to a scammer. And it's important to realize that there's call centers full of scammers that are sitting there doing this all day long. They're taking phone calls from people that are fooled by scams like this and calling in. So you'll call, they'll do a great impersonation of Microsoft or Symantec or whoever the virus pop-up impersonates. They'll try to get onto your computer. Here's an example of one that impersonates Windows Defender. It's a pop-up, tells you you've been blocked for security reasons, you're infected with a Trojan, it has Microsoft's logo. Scammers don't care. They put Microsoft's logo on there, it says Microsoft right there, and this is contact Windows support. But then they put a fake phone number there that's going to call. It's actually going to connect to a scammer. Scammer's going to connect to your PC and they're going to try to get all anything it can. Passwords, financial data. There's one more example of one that impersonates Windows Defender. Again, you'll just be browsing the internet, mind your own business, and boom, this pops up. Some of these fake pop-ups are obnoxious too. What they'll do is they'll play a sound on loop like, you've been infected, call this number. And it's kind of ridiculous. And they'll make it so you can't click out. If that happens, just turn off the computer. Hit the power button, unplug it. But yeah, see, here's the example. Impersonating Windows Defender. It's got the Windows Defender logo, the Microsoft logo. It says to contact Windows support, but that's not Windows number. That's going to call scammers that are trained and reading a script to try and get into all your bank accounts and steal everything you got. I got a couple more examples of these fake virus pop-ups that are part of this tech support scam. And I mentioned earlier that they target all devices. Doesn't matter if you're on a Windows computer or your iPhone. And here's an example of some that target Mac and Apple users, right? This one, you tell it opens in Safari. The virus found. Your Mac computer has 13 infections. Lists a whole bunch of scary things. This one says Apple firewall warning. So this one tries to make you think this is a pop-up from the firewall. And data at risk. Your credit card details, your email passwords, Facebook, your private photos, your webcam could be accessed remotely, right? So it's scary stuff. And someone might get this pop-up and call that phone number. And again, you can see this one targets Safari and Apple users. Here's another one. This one impersonates AppleCare. Warning, macOS is infected with viruses and other malicious applications. Please call Apple support. But that's not Apple support's phone number. It's a scammer's phone number. You're going to call a call center full of scammers. They're going to answer. They'll impersonate Apple. But they're going to try to get on your computer, and then you're in trouble. So our last example of a fake virus pop-up that leads to a tech support scam. And this is another Apple one. It's got the Apple logo, right? Warning, macOS is infected with spyware. It says call the Apple helpline. But again, if you call, be connected to a scammer. It's going to try to take everything you got. So these were all examples of fake virus alerts that could pop up on your screen. Just browsing the internet, whether you're on your mobile phone, your computer. They're targeting everybody with these pop-ups. And something about these tech support scams, these scammers are ruthless. Once they get onto your PC, they want to take everything. They don't want to just clear out one bank account. They want to clear out all your bank accounts. All right, so they'll get onto your PC and they'll tell the victim. They'll say somebody's got access to your bank accounts. You need to log in right now so we can take a look at activity. But that's all part of the scam. They're actually tricking the victim into letting these fake tech support people into their bank accounts. Never let a stranger onto your PC remotely. And we'll talk about that more on our red flags. But once you let somebody onto your PC like this remotely, they can install software. It lets them on in the future anytime they want. It's not good. So anyway, it's known as a tech support scam. They trick the victim into thinking something's wrong with their computer, whether it's a virus or corruption, and they try to trick them into calling this phone number for tech support to help. But again, it's fake. You call that number, you'll be dealing with a scammer. How are you all doing out there? Let me know if you're watching. Welcome, welcome, welcome. See a couple more people join the live stream. Thank you for joining. Welcome to our live stream. We do this every week. I'm Jared with Scamware 101. And we do this live stream every week to spread awareness about common scams. Usually go for about 3 hours. We just started. We're only about maybe half an hour in, not even yet. So we got plenty more to go. Lots of scams to make you aware of and examples to share with you from fake email scams to text message scams to some phone call recordings. So all good stuff to be aware of so you can protect yourself and protect your loved ones from these scammers because they're out there and they want to take everything you got. So please take a moment, hit that like button, hit that thumbs up. Help us spread awareness about these scams. If you don't subscribe to our YouTube channel yet, please hit subscribe. The more subscribers we get, the more likes we get, the more the algorithm will share our content and spread awareness of these scams. Again, say hi in the chat if you're just joining us. Let us know how you found us. And share your experiences. I want to hear about what you've encountered, which scams you've encountered, which red flags you've noticed, and what's going on in the world over in your scam experience. And with that said, let's talk about our next scam because we got a lot to cover tonight. And the next one we're going to talk about is road toll scams, fake road toll scams. So real quick, let me know in the chat if you've gotten any of these fake road toll scams lately. It's pretty much the number one scam going around. It seems to be targeting everybody at this point, and everybody seems to have an example to share with me of one of these unpaid road toll scams. I just got one today that impersonates the DMV. So every week they're changing around what the text says, and they're sending them out. And the thing about these road toll scams is basically the scammers impersonate road toll services. They'll impersonate Easy Pass, SunPass, Fast Track, and they'll claim an unpaid toll is due. Victims are usually contacted by text message or email. Right now, text message is the big one. Everybody's getting these road toll scam text messages. All right, and the text message will contain a link to pay the toll. However, the link's going to open a fake website, and it's designed to steal any personal or financial information entered to pay this toll. There never was an unpaid toll due. And a common misconception right now is that when I talk to people, they ask me, how did this scammer know I was traveling? I was talking to somebody this week, and they were so confused because he got a text message, and he's like, how did they know that I was, driving through Massachusetts? And they didn't. It's just they're sending out so many of these text messages to so many people. It's a numbers game to them. They know that some people would indeed have, driven through Massachusetts. So it's even more convincing in the case when they get those text messages. Just like they know some people, when they target them with SunPass, some people are actually going to be from Florida and use SunPass. Or family has visited Florida, and use SunPass. A lot of times these unpaid road toll scams, they'll pick up during the holidays. And I thought this would actually slow down after the last holidays, towards the end of last year, but they actually picked up. They picked up even more. So the organizations that are behind these fake road toll text messages, they have the technology to send out hundreds of thousands of text messages a day. They're adapting these messages almost on a weekly basis. There's a different version of these messages being sent. And I'm going to show you some examples of these text messages that are going around. But there's so many that I can't even show you all of them, because there's so many at this point. Every week there's a new version. But we've seen versions that they impersonate SunPass, they impersonate Peach Pass, they impersonate Quick Pass, Good to Go, Easy Pass, North Texas Tollway Authority, Drive Easy Maryland, Fast Track. They're impersonating pretty much every agency there is out there. And again, I saw one that impersonated the DMV today. So there's no limit to which toll department that they won't impersonate. They'll impersonate them all. Toll by mails is one of them that some of these text messages say. And just to show you some examples of how these fake unpaid road toll text messages might look. This is what the earliest versions looked like. Very straightforward. On the screen you see all different states. California toll services. Our records indicate that your vehicle has an unpaid toll invoice. To avoid additional charges of $64.90, please settle your balance of $6.49. And then it includes a link to a fake website. And you can see in all these different versions, North Carolina toll services, Illinois tollway, Ohio toll services, Virginia toll service. They all follow the same kind of script. Your recent trip through New Jersey toll point has incurred an extra $4.15 charge. To avoid late fees, settle your balance immediately at, and there's a link to the fake website. All right. Down here, we've got Pennsylvania Turnpike toll services, New York toll services, Florida SunPass. And this was just the original version of this scam that was circulating towards the end of last year. Then it kind of evolved. It evolved and it started impersonating Easy Drive Massachusetts. And on this example, you could see that it came from an international phone number too. Right? +63, I think it's Philippines or something. But yeah, so the text messages are coming from outside the United States. And you can see how the message itself changed. This one says, Easy Drive, Massachusetts. Your vehicle has an unpaid toll invoice, and to avoid excessive late fees on your bill, pay your fee by January 22nd. And this is when they started inserting like dates into these text messages. As the new year started, this is when they started evolving. And then you can see they started linking to these .top websites, and they're not linking to .coms anymore. They're linking to these Chinese domain name websites. And also something to point out here on this example, and you're going to notice this on a lot of the text message examples that we shared tonight. This is a big red flag. When the text message says, please reply with yes, and then reopen the message, that's an indicator that's a scam text message. Because scammers want you to reply to them. They want to get a reply from you because that tells them your phone number is real. One, it tells them that your phone number is real, that you receive the text, that you're reading it, and that you also interact and reply to it. So they love it when you reply to text messages. So when you see this instruction at the bottom of these text messages, it's chances are it's a scam. If they tell you to reply and then reopen the text, it's a scam. Also, by the way, if you reply and reopen the text on an iPhone, that actually activates the link. So now the scammer sent you that link. It's activated because you replied, and it just replying does what the scammer wants, right? So don't reply to scams, especially at the bottom. If it tells you to reply, then that's a red flag not to reply. So you'll see the same instruction on a lot of the other examples of text messages we're going to share this evening. Let me show you a couple more examples of these unpaid toll scam text messages because there's so many different variations. Please pay your toll in Florida by January 22nd in order to avoid excessive late fees and potential legal action. The threats vary. As they modify the text, it varies. Sometimes they'll threaten your license in some of the texts. Sometimes they'll threaten late fees or legal action. Please pay the tolls in time. Thank you for your cooperation. Wish you a pleasant holiday. It's got the link to a fake website. And there's that instruction at the bottom, right, that we mentioned earlier. Please reply yes, then exit and reopen. That's the red flag that this is definitely a scam text. A couple more examples for you here. Again, this one came from another international number, +231. Not sure what that is, but it's definitely not American. Final warning, unpaid tolls. Failure to pay the $3.99 toll may result in further penalties. Deadline, March 12th. And it's got the link to .top website. So you can see the variation, all the different texts that they're sending out, trying to convince you have an unpaid toll. There's another one. This one impersonates Fast Track. That's the California toll service. Pay your Fast Track lane tolls by January 24th to avoid a fine and keep your license. And at the bottom, it has that same little red flag there with the please reply yes and reopen. Be aware of. I have a lot more. Let me show you a couple more examples. There's so many text messages. I could fill up this whole live stream with different examples of this one scam. But here's one where they texted a attachment. It was a PDF attachment. And this is what the PDF attachment looked like. Toll violation notice. And that has a pay now link inside the attachment. Which, by the way, never open attachments from someone you don't know. You know, because in this case, you know, it was just a attachment with a link. But it could have been a virus. It could have been something malicious, and it could have destroyed the device. Or infected your computer with something that steals your personal information. So never open attachments that were unsolicited. And this would be an example of them. But you can see that the scammers behind this one, they've gotten creative. They're sending attachments. They're sending different versions of text messages. Every week there's a different version saying you have unpaid text. And it's a numbers game to them. They're just hitting so many people with this text. Hundreds of thousands of people are getting this unpaid road toll text message or a variation of it. And there's been warnings from all these agencies that they've been warning about it. Easy Pass has released a warning. The NY Thruway released this poster. What was it? New York Thruway. They had this poster hanging up showing a fake version and a real version, like a text that actually is from Easy Pass and one that isn't. So as far as these unpaid road toll text messages go, don't trust the links. Don't click on the links. Don't call the numbers. Don't do anything the text message tells you to, right? If you're concerned that you actually do owe a toll, go open your Easy Pass app or go to the official website and check that way. But don't click on links that came in from a text message. You can't trust links. You can't trust phone numbers. You can't trust links. You can't trust anything that was sent to you unsolicited. And just to give you an example of what might happen if you did click a link, it would take you to a fake website that looks like this. In the case of Washington State's Good to Go, that's their service. So if you had clicked on the link in one of those fake text messages, claiming you had unpaid toll, take you to a website, it looks like Washington, it's good. I mean, it looks legit, right? Same colors, logo, looks legit. But there's a fake website, scammer built. And then you click payment, and it takes you to the next page where they steal your payment details. So don't fall for these unpaid road toll scams. Everybody's getting them. Even if they happen to get you where you're driving through Massachusetts and you got a text that claimed to be from Massachusetts, or you're driving through Florida and you got a text that claimed to be Florida. It's a numbers game. They just happen to luck out and send it to you. They don't really know you went through Florida. They don't really know you went through Massachusetts. So don't let that fool you into thinking that it's a legit notice or a legit invoice. So that's unpaid road toll scams. I mean, let me know in the chat if you received this text message. Everybody has. I get them, and every week new versions are being sent to me. But I'd love to hear your experience, and let me know if you received these unpaid road toll text messages. If you know someone who has, if you know someone who fell for it, I want to hear about it in the chat. If you're just joining us, welcome. Hit that thumbs up. Give us a like. We do this every week. The Scam Awareness live stream every week, every Thursday, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Our goal is to spread awareness. Spread awareness about these scams. I'm Jared with Scamware 101. And thank you for tuning in. We're going to be going for another 2 hours or so. So we got a lot more common scams to go over with you, a lot more examples to share. A lot of these scams that we're going over, we've done videos for them already. They're on our YouTube channel. So definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel and check back later. You could find the videos that share a lot of the same examples we share. In fact, this road toll scam video, we released a video about this scam towards the end of last year, right? So we were one of the first ones ringing the alarm about this scam. And it's evolved so much since then. But I think when we did this, there was only maybe 3,000 cases reported throughout the country. But now, I mean, it's one of the most common scams going around right now, these unpaid road toll scams. But yeah, we shared a lot more examples of this in that video on our channel, so check that out. And also, you can join our free email list, scamaware101.com, and click Join Mailing List. It's free. We'll send you reminders about when we're going to live stream, and we'll send you some useful scam awareness tips. And if you haven't hit that like button yet, give us a like, hit that thumbs up, help us spread awareness. We'll see if we get some more people in the live stream right now. Now, with that said, let's go to our next scam that we're going to talk about tonight. Wrong number scams. We did a video about this scam too, and it actually went viral. At least what I consider viral. We got over 98,000 views, which is really cool. It's one of our most popular videos. Wish all our videos got those views, but this one did, and it's pretty cool. But we got a lot of comments on that video of people, confirming they received the exact same text messages we're about to share with you, and the same pictures were sent to them. And so, yeah, wrong number scams, extremely common. And check out our video about it later too. But let's talk about these and what they are. So, wrong number scams. Scammers reach new victims by sending text messages to random phone numbers. When someone replies, wrong number, the scammer attempts to continue the conversation and build a trust with the victim. As trust is gained, this type of scam evolves into either a romance or pig butchering scam that ultimately steals money from the trusting victim. Right. So these wrong number scams, if you've ever wondered why you've gotten so many text messages from wrong numbers, this is why. The purpose of a wrong number scam is they want the person to reply back and say wrong number. Or they want the person to reply back and say, who is this? So it's very easy for scammers to to target victims with these. They can literally send a text message that says any random thing. A text message could say something like, "Excuse me, is this Emma?" Or it could say, "Hey Anna, I'm Josie." Or it could just be a completely random message that you receive that says, "Hi." Right? Because these are all cases where someone might reply back and say, "Who is this?" Or, "No, you have the wrong number." And that's the goal. The scammer wants you to reply back with that. Because then they're going to try to continue the conversation. And let me show you some examples of how that conversation might progress. So in this example, it starts with a random text message. "I'm Margaret, are you Lillian?" Person replies back, says, "I'm Izzy." Scammer says, "I'm really sorry. I think I made a mistake between your number and Lillian's number when saving. I hope I didn't disturb your good day." The victim replies back, "That's okay." All right, at this point, it should end. It's been clarified. There's a wrong number. There's no reason to keep on going back and forth. But the scammer is going to keep trying to talk to the person. They're going to try to get information. In this case, the scammer replies, "Thank you for your understanding and patience. You're a kind person. I hope you have a good day today. I'm 36 years old. Would you mind telling me your age?" And that's the information they're going to always try to get out of you. They're going to ask what your age is. They're going to ask what your name is, because usually they get to determine what your sex is from that. And they're going to ask where your location is. And then based on that information, they'll determine the best way to proceed with a scam. So a wrong number scam is basically the first part of a scam. It's a way to encounter and pull in new victims, and then it evolves into a different type of scam. Right? The first part is the wrong number ruse that pulls the victim in. And then the second part will be some other scam, which tries to take the money. Let me show you a couple more examples of these conversations. Because again, the idea is, I want you to realize that this is a scammer before you're pulled into much more of a conversation. Right? I want you to know right away and to realize it's a scam. Here's another example. "Have a cup of coffee together sometime." Completely random message. Person receives it. Replies, "Who is this?" Person replies back, "This is my friend Laura. I'm Zoe." Person replies back, "Wrong number." Okay. At that point, you should stop. Scammer replies back, "I'm sorry. I thought this was Laura's number. I think I dialed the wrong number, area code. Hope I'm not bothering you." Okay. Whatever. Person replies back, "No, you're good. Have a great day." Conversation should end at that point. But since this is a wrong number scam, the scammer's going to keep going. "Thank you for your kindness. I just realized I entered the wrong area code. Where are you from?" Right? So in this case, they're asking, "Where are you from?" If the conversation continued, they'll ask their age, they'll ask their name. So here's an example. This was one that I received. A friend received this one, and we decided to keep it going, and we'd use it as an example. So, completely unsolicited text message comes in, "Hi," right? Unknown number. We knew right away it was a scammer. They usually are. And by the way, I recommend not even replying at all. If you get something like this that says "Hi," don't even reply and ask who it is. It's going to be a scammer. You don't want to reply back. You reply back, it's going to activate any links they send you. They're going to know that your number's real and that someone's receiving the text messages. So my recommendation is do not engage at all. Do not engage at all with these unsolicited text messages that come in. But anyway, back to the example, right? We get the message that says "Hi." We reply back, "Hi, who's this?" Replies back, "I'm Karina. Are you David? We met last week at Linda's party. You picked this number for me," right? So they'll give you some stories sometimes like that. I reply back just like anybody else. We said, "Hi, sorry, you have the wrong number." Right? At that point, if this had not been a scammer, it should have stopped, but it is a scammer. It says, "Oh my gosh, I checked. I found out I entered the wrong area code. I hope this doesn't bother you." We reply back, "That's okay. No problem." Okay. At that point, again, it should have been over. It should have been over a couple times right now, but the scammer continues. "Thank you very much. You're a very friendly and polite person. I hope we could be friends. Nice to meet you. My name is Karina. What can I call you?" We decided to mess with. We replied back and said Pat. All right, and then they replied back, "You have a beautiful name. I'm from Malaysia and currently living in Los Angeles. Where do you live?" Right? So they're asking my name. They're asking where I live. If I kept talking to them, they were going to ask my age. Right? But we cut it off at this point because we know it's a scam. And don't interact with strangers that just text you randomly, right? I mean, we learned this as little kids. Don't interact with strangers, and that goes for adults too when it comes to things like this. There's no reason, you don't know who's on the other end of this text message. And when it comes to making friends through a text message, the odds indicate it's going to be a scammer, right? Because we know they're doing this. I know you want to be friendly, right? You want to be friendly in case somebody really has a wrong number. You want to reply back and say, I'm sorry, you got a wrong number, but it's better not even to reply at all. You don't want them even knowing that you saw the message. Best thing you do is just hit report as junk and block him. Don't get pulled in to engage with these scammers. See, Dave in the chat mentioned they also want to know your annual income. Yeah, probably. It doesn't surprise me. They'll, the bigger the income, I'm sure the more excited they get. Here's another example of a wrong number scam. I received this one, and sometimes they'll include a picture just to try and get more of a response, And this is one that I received. Hi, Byron, I'm Jane. And they include a picture. And it says, and then 4 hours later, right? So I didn't reply. I knew it was a scammer, of course, right? But exactly 4 hours later on the dot, I get a second follow-up and it says, have you gotten the pictures I sent? So what's important to realize about these wrong number scams too is a lot of times these are bots. This is just software that's programmed to send these messages out to people, right? And if they get a reply, they'll interact a little bit, gather basic information, and then at a certain point, it'll get handed off to a real scammer. But in the example you can see here, right? The bot sends me this random text message. Hi, Byron, I'm Jane. They include the picture of the woman, probably trying to get a reply from maybe some lonely guys that happen to get a random message like this, right? And then 4 hours later, on the dot, because it's programmed to, it sends another message. Have you gotten the pictures I sent? You can see 1:58 was the initial message, and then 5:58 was the follow-up message. So these bots are being persistent, right? They're programmed to be persistent. And into coding, it says send out this text message, wait 4 hours. If no response, send out this text message. That's how the bots and the programming work. So I'll be aware of that. Just because they included a picture, that doesn't make it any more real. That doesn't make this person any more real. Again, we included this example in our wrong number scam video, and that's the one that got 98,000 views, amazingly. But in the comments, a lot of people left comments saying they got the exact same text message from the exact same picture, claiming to be the exact same girl. So it's a scam. Watch out for them. These wrong number scams are persistent, and they happen all the time. Let me know in the chat if you've gotten these wrong number scams, if you encountered this one. We're right on schedule here. Sweet. We're gonna go into some red flags next. 5 red flags to identify a scammer. I had it scheduled for 6:40, so in 2 minutes we're gonna jump into that. But in the meantime, if you're just joining, say hi in the chat. Let me know you're watching. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't yet. Let's see if we get some more people in this live stream. We're gonna be going for about at least 2 more hours. We usually go to at least 8:45, usually till after 9. So we're gonna be here, going over more scams, sharing some more examples with everybody. Haven't joined our free email list yet? Check it out. Go to scamaware101.com and you click join mailing list. That's our free email list. We'll send you reminders when we're going to be live, and we'll share some useful information about common scams. And make sure to check your junk mail for the confirmation email. Because when you sign up, it's going to send a confirmation email. So make sure to check your junk mail. Dave, I think you're on the mailing list. Do you ever confirm? I'm not sure. I think I might have seen you on the pending confirmation. So check that junk mail folder if not. I haven't checked in a while, though, so. All right, we're going to get into red flags here. Just getting my slides up. All right, cool. We're going to go into 5 red flags that you're dealing with a scammer. We got another video coming out soon with 5 more red flags. But these 5 red flags are a good start. And we actually did a video about this too. So if you find this useful, if you know somebody you want to share this with, we have a video on our YouTube channel with these same 5 red flags we're about ready to go over, these same slides that we're going to share and go over with you. All right. So 5 red flags that you're dealing with a scammer. So, you know, you hear about the victims' stories, you know, after the fact. And unfortunately, there's always these little red flags where if they were aware of them, these little details, a little red flag where if they were just aware of that, it would have been enough for them to realize that they were being scammed. Right? And unfortunately, you hear these victims' stories, and a lot of them never get the money back. Some of them lose their life savings. Some lose their retirement funds. Older folks, like, they lose everything that they spent years saving. It's really sad. And these scammers, they don't care. They're ruthless. They want to take it all. You know, and as we hear their stories, there's just the little details, these little red flags. You know, would have been enough to stop it, right? So we compiled these 5 red flags, and it's not all of them, but it's a good starting point. It's like 5 of the most common ones. And if you run into any of these red flags that we're about to go over, it's a pretty good indicator that you're dealing with a scammer, and you need to stop, rethink the situation, you know, maybe talk to somebody, get you know, a second opinion about what's going on, because these red flags, they're a big deal. They're a big deal. They're, again, I can't tell you hear all the victim stories, and they always have a common thread, and a lot of time it's one of these red flags. All right, so let's go over these 5 red flags that you're dealing with a scammer. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't yet. Let's get some more likes, some more people in here. So red flag number 1 that you're dealing with a scammer. They'll direct you to a third-party chat app like Telegram or WhatsApp to continue the conversation. Why do scammers like third-party chat apps like Telegram and WhatsApp? Well, it's easier to communicate with victims in other countries. It also offers more anonymity for the scammer to hide behind. Right? The scammer doesn't want to sit there trying to scam victims through text message back and forth all day. Right? They want to get them onto WhatsApp where they can share videos and pictures and pull them in even more. And the other thing about WhatsApp is it actually encrypts the conversation, and that prevents WhatsApp from putting safeguards in based on what's being said, right? So like if a scammer says something like, oh, send me Bitcoin or whatever, WhatsApp isn't going to be able to detect that because the conversation is encrypted. The scammer's safe hiding behind that conversation. So it's important to realize that when you're talking to a stranger online, which you shouldn't be doing anyway, but if you are, and they direct you to talk on Telegram or WhatsApp, it's a big indicator that you're dealing with a scammer. And some scams where that's actually part of the playbook to direct the victim to Telegram or WhatsApp. Romance scams. Scammers will make fake dating profiles to lure in new victims, then direct them to continue talking on WhatsApp. Right? They'll create these fake profiles, and then once they get matches on these dating websites, they send a message, hey, let's talk on WhatsApp. It's a scam. Wrong number scams, right? We just talked about wrong number scams. As that conversation progresses, what's going to happen is the scammer's going to tell the victim, hey, let's talk on WhatsApp. Let's continue the conversation on WhatsApp, right? Because the scammer doesn't want to keep on texting back and forth. They'll use a text message, you know, to do the wrong number scam and to find a new victim and initiate a conversation. But once they initiate that conversation, they're going to try to move it over to WhatsApp or Telegram, a third-party chat app. Right, so that's an indicator. And you have the investment scams. They'll direct the victim to a Telegram or WhatsApp group to pump up an investment or appear more legit. On Telegram, there could be a bunch of bots that are programmed to make that investment look legit. In WhatsApp, there might be a group of other scammers working together to convince you that there's interest in this investment. And those are all things that they wouldn't be able to just do in a text message, right? Scammers want to get you onto these third-party chat apps because they could use more against you, right? They could use videos and all that. Right? So that's red flag number 1 that you're dealing with a scammer. They try to get you to continue the conversation on a third-party chat app like Telegram or WhatsApp. Let me know if you've encountered that in the chat. Let's take a look at red flag number 2. This is a big one. They request payment in gift cards, prepaid cards, cryptocurrency, or depositing cash at a Bitcoin ATM. Look, out of all of these, that's the biggest red flag. First of all, if you get to the point where you're discussing gift cards and cryptocurrency, you're already pulled in too deep, right? You need to stop and reanalyze this whole situation, because you're getting towards the end of the scam where they're about ready to take that money from you, right? So why do scammers love these unusual forms of payment? So it's easier to move and transfer funds quickly. When they have you purchase these gift cards, all you do is you take pictures and send it to them. Boom. And they instantly are able to go get those funds and move them. Cryptocurrency, once they get the cryptocurrency, you're not going to get it back. Once you send that to them, it's very hard to recover that. Same thing depositing into Bitcoin ATM. Very hard to get that back once the scammer has it, once it's transferred. All right, so it's very hard for victims to recover the money as well. Also, keep in mind, none of these forms of payment are insured by your bank. A lot of people think that their money is safe with their bank. Oh, if something happens, it's secured. But what these scammers do is they trick the victims into withdrawing the money themselves. And once a victim withdraws the money and they're tricked into transferring it or purchasing Bitcoin or gift cards, the bank's not responsible for that. That's not considered fraud anymore to them at that point. Just you getting scammed withdrawing the money, the bank's not just going to cover that. So a lot of victims, they never get their funds back. They don't realize that that money is not going to be refunded by the bank. So where's a part of the playbook for these scammers where they request payment in gift cards, prepaid cards, cryptocurrency, go into a Bitcoin ATM? Some scam examples where that's part of the playbook, right, are IRS and Social Security scams. Scammers impersonate the government agencies and ask for payment in gift cards or cryptocurrency. That's a major red flag. Government agencies do not accept gift cards or cryptocurrency currently. Yeah, maybe in the future cryptocurrency will be a form of payment, but right now they don't. So as of right now, if anybody's claiming to be with a government organization like the IRS or Social Security and they're telling you to purchase gift cards or cryptocurrency, it's a scam. 100% a scam. Romance scams. Scammers will request gift cards and cryptocurrency from their emotionally attached victim. The victim just thinks that they're sending gift cards to someone they're in a relationship with and care about, but it's really a scammer. Sometimes the scammers, they'll set up a cryptocurrency account and they'll have the victim deposit money into the cryptocurrency account. And they'll tell the victim this is for us, our future life together, and to get a home and yada, yada, yada. But what's really happening is they're tricking the victim into sending cryptocurrency and they're not going to be able to get it back. Bank impersonation scams. We talked about these earlier. A lot of times, victims, they're tricked into withdrawing cash from the bank to purchase gift cards. The scammers, they'll tell them that your money's not safe, your account's not safe, someone's in there, you need to withdraw the money, and you need to purchase gift cards. It sounds ridiculous, but remember, these scammers do this for a living. They do it all day long. They have a script to follow. They know how to answer any questions or any objections, right? So red flag number 2, right? Gift cards, prepaid cards, cryptocurrency, depositing cash at a Bitcoin ATM, any mention of these things from a stranger that you're talking to, red flag. Don't do it. You're dealing with a scammer. How we doing out there? Say hi in the chat. Hit that thumbs up. Let me know you're watching. We're going over common red flags to identify a scammer. Very important to know. And again, we have a video with these same slides that you could review later and share with your friends later too on our YouTube channel. Red flag number 3. They ask you to provide a code that was sent to your phone by text message. This scam is actually very common on marketplace type websites. So if you sell on like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, chances are you might run into this scam. And basically someone's posing as a seller or buyer, and they'll tell you that they need to, they just want to confirm your phone number is real or confirm your identity. And they'll ask you to reply back with a code. But they're tricking you. That's a scam. What they're actually trying to do is they're trying to open an account under your phone number. If you reply back with that code, you allow it. Or they're trying to log into an account that's linked to your phone number. If you reply back, you allow it. Or they're trying to reset your password. If you give them that code, you enable them to do so. So this is a big scam that they'll use. And just to get a little bit more specific where that's part of the playbook, okay, is like, for example, if they're trying to log into one of your accounts, a lot of times you'll get a code sent to your phone to confirm it's you. If you provide that code to the scammer, they'll put it in and they'll be allowed into your account. So you never want to reply to an individual with a code that they claim they're sending you. Password reset requests. Like we said, that providing the code will allow somebody to reset your password, and then they could access your account because now they have the password, right? And then the other one is a Google Voice scam. So what these scammers like to do is they like to create Google Voice accounts that they can continue scamming other people on, that they could use to call people and try to scam more victims, right? So with those Google Voice accounts, what they want to do is they want to create one that's linked to your phone number. It's a fraudulent Google Voice account, right? And they link it to your phone number, and by replying back to them with that code, you're allowing them to do so. All right. So never provide a code that an individual is claiming that they're sending to your phone. Don't trust it. It's a common scam. Tell them to find some other way to confirm who you are. They're trying to confirm your phone number is real. Just tell them to call it and you'll answer. Right? Like, don't provide codes. Oh, and by the way, if they call you and want you to tell them the code, don't tell them the code verbally either. Right? Never give a code to somebody that's claiming they sent you when they need it. And people run into that scam all the time on Facebook Marketplace. Red flag number 4. This is a good one. This goes back to our tech support scam that we mentioned earlier. That I showed you all the examples too. Red flag number 4. They ask to connect to your PC to assist or investigate an issue. Look, scammers, unfortunately, this is extremely common for them to do now. It's almost a default a lot of times when they're trying to get onto your PC. And here's why. Getting on your PC is a gold mine to a scammer. They could steal your logins, your passwords. A lot of times you'll have passwords or logins saved in Chrome, and they're able to extract that once they're on your PC. They could steal and encrypt your personal files, documents, and pictures, right, and hold them for ransom, force you to make a payment, blackmail you. They could attempt to access your online banking websites and other financial information you have on your PC. A lot of times when they're on your PC, they're impersonating a bank or support, and they're asking you to log into your bank account so they could assist you. But they're actually asking you to log into your bank accounts so they could get access to your bank accounts. So all the time, the victim thinks that they're dealing with somebody from the bank that's going to help them. Yeah, sure, I'll open all my bank accounts on my computer. You can connect. But they're actually letting a scammer connect and access the bank accounts. So it's a big red flag if somebody tries to access your PC or wants to access your PC. And when it comes down to allowing people to access your PC, really you should only have a set, very few people that you should let onto your PC, right? You should never be calling a phone number on the internet and letting a stranger onto your PC, even if they claim to be tech support, right? If you had gotten that fake virus alert that says you're infected with the virus, you should have your own computer person that you call when you need help, whether it's the person at the local computer shop, maybe it's that family member that's good with PCs, computers, maybe it's somebody you work with, tech support, over at where you work, right? But it should be very limited to who you let actually onto your PC to help you. And you should never be calling random phone numbers and letting random people onto your PC remotely. Customer support, a lot of times they're scammers. Tech support, a lot of times it's scammers, and you don't realize it. So if there's ever a reason where somebody's telling you they need to get on your PC, be like, I have my own computer guy, I'll let them deal with it. Right? So what are some scams where connecting to your PC is part of the playbook? these fake virus alert and tech support scams that I just mentioned. It was one of the first scams we went over on the live stream earlier today. And basically, it's a fake pop-up. They trick victims into calling a fake tech support number. And the scammer, tells them, let me connect your PC to remove the virus. And that's how they get onto the victim's PC. They trick them into thinking that they're tech support. Fake order scams. The victim receives a notification about a fake order. We're going to be going over this scam in a little bit. But the victim calls a scammer thinking it's customer support, and the scammer asks for access to the PC to assist, right, as part of the scam. Red flag. And then you have this fake fraudulent activity narrative that's floating around, where victims are contacted by somebody impersonating a bank or impersonating an agency that's investigating fraud, and they'll ask to connect to the victim's PC to check for, let us get on your PC, we'll check for suspicious activity under your accounts. That's the narrative they'll use to trick the victim, right? But that's a scam. That's how they trick the victim into letting them onto their PC. Sure, you got to check my accounts. Let me let you connect. What do you need me to do? And then a scammer has them, right? So it's always a red flag if somebody's trying to connect to your PC, somebody you don't know, or a random support phone number. Only let someone you trust and know onto your PC. So that's red flag number 4. And then red flag number 5. They request that you keep the matter confidential or secret. Extremely common for scammers to ask for confidentiality. They don't want you to discuss the situation with other people, right? Because the more people you talk to, the more likely you'll be told it's a scam. So the scammers don't want you talking to anybody. They want you to keep it secret. They want you to keep it confidential. And they'll make up some convincing stories and tell you why you should. And for example, in a grandparent scam, which we're going to be going over in a little bit, that's when the scammer impersonates a relative, and they say that they need money. They're in jail. They need help for release, right? But the scammer will say they're embarrassed. The relative is embarrassed about their arrest and asked you not to tell anybody. So let's keep this secret for now and respect their wishes. That's a narrative, but that's part of the scam. They want them to keep it secret because someone might turn around and say, hey, that's a scam. Investment scams. They'll tell you they have an inside tip and not to share it with anybody. Or they'll tell you a price is just for you, so don't tell anybody that they gave you that price. But what they're really doing is they don't want you to tell anybody because people will be like, hey, you're getting scammed. Inheritance scams. They'll mail letters impersonating law offices regarding a fake inheritance. And we have an example of one of those letters. I'll show you later in the live stream. But in those letters, they'll request confidentiality. And an example I'll show you a little later. That's one of the things I'll point out. So yeah. And then the fake fraudulent activity. So remember how we talked about these scammers, they impersonate the bank, they'll call you, they'll impersonate the bank or an agency that's investigating fraud. Well, what they'll do is they'll request confidentiality from you. They'll tell you, since this is an active investigation, you can't tell anybody about this conversation or what's going on. And that's a scam. That's part of the scam. They'll say you'll ruin the investigation if you tell everybody what's happening. So, but that's how they try to trick the victim into keeping quiet. Because you don't want to ruin an investigation, then you're in trouble, right? So, but that's a lie. It's part of the scam. And it works. It works. So those are 5 red flags that you're dealing with a scammer. If you run into any of those red flags, you need to stop, reanalyze the situation, maybe talk to someone else, get some second opinions, do a little bit more research, verify who you're actually dealing with, who you're actually talking to, right? And if you're just joining us, I'm going to read off those 5 red flags real quick one more time for you. And give us a like, give us a thumbs up, say hi in the chat, subscribe, let us know you're watching. Our goal is to spread awareness. As you can see, all this information we're giving out is extremely important, and it can make a difference. It's important. So, 5 red flags you're dealing with a scammer. 1, they direct you to a third-party chat app like Telegram or WhatsApp to continue the conversation. Again, it's much easier for scammers to work on their victims through a chat app than it is through like text messaging. So, they direct you to Telegram or WhatsApp. It's a big red flag. Red flag number 2. They request payment in gift cards, prepaid cards, cryptocurrency, or depositing cash at a Bitcoin ATM. And really, anytime you hear those words pop up, gift cards, prepaid cards, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin ATM, you hear those words pop up, it's red flag. It's red flag city right there. Because scammers, they love getting those unusual forms of payment because harder to retrieve. Once it's sent, they pretty much got it for good. You're not going to get it back. So that's red flag number 2. They request you to pay in gift cards, prepaid cards, cryptocurrency, or go to a Bitcoin ATM. Red flag number 3. They ask you to provide a code that was sent to your phone by text message. That's shady. Don't trust that request. That's what they do. They're trying to get into one of your accounts. They're trying to reset one of your accounts. They're trying to create a new account that's linked to your phone number. There's no reason you should provide a code that was sent to your phone to a stranger. Even if they tell you that's to verify your identity, don't trust it. It's extremely suspicious if individuals are asking you to provide codes they send to your phone. Don't do it. You'll run into that a lot on Facebook Marketplace. Very common scam. Red flag number 4. They ask you to connect to your PC to assist or investigate an issue. So red flag is used in tech support scams. They'll impersonate tech support and offer to connect to your PC. They'll offer to help you with customer service and connect to your PC, but it'll really be a scammer. And unfortunately, a lot of times the victim won't realize it because the victim was actually tricked into calling the fake phone number. So it's always red flag if a stranger or somebody's trying to connect to your PC. Only let trusted individuals work on your PC. And then red flag number 5, they request that you keep the matter confidential or secret. So we got a lot more examples that we're going to show you where that one comes up. And, I mean, scammers don't want you talking to people about what's going on. The more people you tell, the more likely you are to be told it's a scam. So they want you to keep it a secret. Scammers try to keep their victims on the phone. This way they can't go call somebody. When somebody's beeping through, they tell them not to answer, right? So scammers are going to try to stop victims from talking with loved ones, whether it's telling them to keep it confidential and telling them a story why they got to keep it secret, or threatening them with repercussions if they don't keep it secret. So always red flag. Be alert and be aware of those warning signs that you're dealing with scammers. And again, I can't stress this enough. You read the victim's stories and these red flags, if they're just aware of them, they always pop up. Especially the gift cards and cryptocurrency one. Big red flags. Big red flags. So that's it for our 5 red flags presentation. We did a video with those same slides. It's on our YouTube channel. So if you know a loved one or want to review these red flags later, a loved one that would appreciate it too, you go share that video. It's on our YouTube channel. Subscribe. Check our videos out later. And yeah. How we all doing out there? Say hi in the chat. Let me know you're watching. I see a couple new viewers. Good to see ya. Been going for about an hour and 15 minutes so far. We're almost at the halfway point, but we still got a ways to go. Lots more scams to go over with you. Lots more examples to share with you. We have text message examples coming up. We have email examples coming up. We got recorded robocalls that are trying to scam you right now and circulating that we're going to play for you. So we have lots of good stuff coming up. If you missed the last hour of this live stream so far, I'm sorry, but I'm glad you joined us now because we still have a lot more to come up. We're going for probably next 2 hours, but right now is the portion of our live stream where we take a quick 5-minute coffee break to refill my Scamaware 101 traveler book, which you could get in our YouTube channel store. They're overpriced, but they're good and they support a good cause. So feel free to hop in there, buy a travel mug. We got a couple other cool things on our YouTube channel store. Mouse pads, things like that. All right. All right, we're going to be back in 5 minutes. In the meantime, hit that thumbs up, say hi in the chat, let me know you're watching. I'm going to try this new live stream feature that supposedly lets me play an ad or something while I'm doing a coffee break. So let's see how that works. And we'll be back in 5 minutes to continue this live stream, and we've got lots more good stuff coming up. So stay tuned. All right. Welcome back to our second portion of our weekly live stream by Scamware 101. I am Jared, and if you're just joining us, tonight we're going over 20 different types of scams. We're going to share a whole bunch of examples with you of email scams, text message scams, even play some recordings of some robocalls that are circulating right now trying to scam you. We're rounding around our first hour here, but we still got plenty more to share. We went over about 6 scams so far and 5 red flags to recognize when you're dealing with a scammer. And a lot of the scams and the red flags, we actually have videos on our YouTube channel as well, so you could definitely subscribe if you're not subscribed yet and check out those videos a little later. It's always good to have them there to share with your loved ones or show your loved ones. Again, our goal here is to spread awareness of these scams so you can help protect yourself, protect your loved ones. You can join our free email list on scamaware101.com. You click Join Mailing List. We'll send you some reminders about when we're going live and some other useful scam awareness info from time to time. If you're just joining us, make sure to hit that thumbs up, give us a like, help us spread awareness, say hi in the chat, and tell us your experience. We want to hear what scams you're encountering, what horror stories you've heard. It's up to the community to spread awareness and share with others what scams they're encountering and what to watch out for. And we're just trying to do our part here at Scamware 101 and put something good out there and try to stop some of these scammers and maybe make a little bit of a difference. All right, so we're going to go into some more common scams. We got some good ones coming up now. We got fake order scams, grandparent scams, undeliverable package scams, fake retail website scams, gift card scams. There's some of my favorite ones to go over. We've got some great examples for you. Again, by the way, all the examples we share, they're all mostly pretty recent. A lot of them are from the past few months. Most of them are from within the year, definitely within the year. They're all currently circulating and active. Especially these fake order scams, which is what we're going to actually talk about right now. Fake order scams, or otherwise known as a fake purchase scam. Victims receive a fake notification that an order was made under their account. When the victim calls to dispute the fake order, a scammer impersonates customer support and attempts to steal their personal and financial information. So these fake order scams, they're extremely common right now, and victims are being targeted from every direction. There's text messages going out that are doing fake order scams. There's emails being sent that are fake order scams. And there's phone calls and robocalls being placed that are fake order scams. And the whole idea is to trick you or to trick the victim into thinking an order was placed and they need to dispute it. Right? So victims will get an email saying that they purchased an iPhone, and if they didn't, call this number. Or they'll get a text message saying that they placed an order with Apple, but if they didn't, call this number. Or they'll get a phone call that says, we received your purchase of a PlayStation, but if you didn't, hit this number to dispute it. Hit 1 to dispute it. But this is all versions of fake order scams, right? And again, we're being attacked from all directions. But I have examples of those to share with you, including, let's start with this text message. This one was reported to me by multiple people. And it's a text message that comes in. It says, we have noticed that your Apple iCloud ID was recently used at Apple Store for $143.95, paid by Apple Pay pre-authorization. Right? And then it goes on to say something about suspicious activity and these other things. But eventually it gets to where it says, call this number immediately to cancel this charge. Right? So the idea is for the victim to receive this text message, I didn't spend $143. Let me call this number to cancel the charge. If they call that number, they're going to be connected to a scammer. And that's how these fake order notifications work. They're meant to trick victims into calling a scammer. Similar to how the tech support scam that we went over earlier works, where it tricks the victim into calling for tech support. This one tricks them into calling to dispute an order. So this text message, again, it impersonates Apple, and it claims your Apple iCloud ID was used for an order, and it says to call a number. And to be more believable, at the bottom of this text message, it'll have a link to actual support.apple.com. Right? That'll point to a real website that just has information, but the phone number is going to call the scammer. So they make everything look legit, but the phone number is going to get you on the phone and get you scammed. So that's a text message version of a fake order notification. Claims you used iCloud ID to place an order, call this number to dispute it. But now, there's also the phone call version of this scam. And this one, there's a lot of different variations going around, because basically it's a robocall, and I'm going to play you some recordings here of 2 different versions. And the thing with these fake order scams is they could insert any product and they could insert any retailer, right? So in this first example, they're going to say a MacBook Pro was purchased under your Amazon account, and it's going to say hit 1 to dispute, right? So let's take a listen to that robocall.
This call is to authorize the payment of $1,499 for the recent order of Apple MacBook Pro on your Amazon account. If you do not authorize this payment, please press 1 to speak to our customer support representative.
Right? So what this scammer's doing is this robocall. It's just calling random phone numbers. And the idea was for somebody to pick up. But this recorded, luckily, because nobody picked up, and it played the robocall anyway, and we got a recording of it. But as you can see, it calls up and it says, a MacBook Pro was purchased under your Amazon account. Press 1 to dispute this. And the idea is to make people think, I didn't purchase a MacBook Pro. I better press 1 to dispute this. They don't realize they're getting connected to a scammer. There never was a purchase. Right? That's the part of the scam. They tricked the person to think it was a purchase, and now they're talking to a scammer that's going to try to get into all their bank accounts. So that was one recording. But we have a second one here. Again, there's so many different variations. They could literally insert product, insert retailer. So this one's going to say a PlayStation from Walmart. So let's listen to that recording. I believe this one actually says, it doesn't say press 1, but it says callback number, which is always a red flag. Someone leaves you a voicemail and then they don't say the number or anything in it. They just say callback number. That's a red flag. But anyway, let's listen to this example of a fake order notification scam.
We are trying to contact you concerning an unverified purchase of PlayStation 5 Special Edition bundled with Pulse 3D headset being ordered from your Walmart account for an amount of $859.50. If you did not authorize this transaction or wish to cancel, please press 1 or return our call on same number at your earliest convenience.
So that's an example of a fake order scam, robocall, right? It's meant to trick the victim into thinking that, uh-oh, there's been a PlayStation purchase under my Walmart account. I better call back this number and dispute it. But that's the scam. They call back the number, they're going to be connected to a scammer. How we all doing? Say hi in the chat. Let me know you're watching. Right, so I mentioned that, again, this type of scam, these fake order scams, we're being attacked from all angles, right? We have the text message example that I shared with you. We have the 2 recordings of robocalls that I shared with you. But now we also have a victim's story. And this victim is an example of the email version, right? So let's see what this says. So this was August 2024, right? So late last year. A 23-year-old Lincoln woman reported losing $4,100 after falling victim to an identity fraud scam in July. The scam began on July 17th with an email claiming she had purchased an iPhone. The woman called the number provided in the email to dispute the purchase and was told she had multiple accounts in her name across various states. She was informed someone was using her identity, right? Well, that's all part of the scam, right? And this is an example. So she gets the email, an email notification saying she purchased an iPhone. That's the fake order notification. That's an email version of this fake order notification, right? The email says to call this number to dispute it. She calls the number, but doesn't realize that it's actually a scammer, right? It's not the real support number. It's a scammer, Ends up calling a call center full of scammers that do this all day. And then they go into the whole narrative where your identity has been stolen, your accounts are being opened across states, yada yada. They go into the whole, oh my God, someone's got your info. Again, it's all part of a scam. There's not a purchase. This is all part of a scam. All right. So now, at that point, that's it for like the fake order portion of this scam, right? The fake order portion was kind of a way to pull into the victim and get them into the whole narrative, right? At that point, the narrative could go in various directions. But in her case, this is how it went for her, right? Because this article is fascinating. It gives you a little peek inside about what these scammers say. But according to police, after the scammers told this woman her identity was being used, according to police, scammers then connected the woman to a person posing as a CIA agent who instructed her to withdraw $3,600 from her bank account. The next day, she was directed to use the money to purchase Walmart cash cards and send photos and receipts. Additionally, the woman sent another $500 cash card to the scammers. All right, so here we are reading about a fake order scam. And did you see the red flag? This is why we included the gift card red flag. Because you read these victim stories, and there's always something that should have been a red flag. And in this case, at the very least, it's the purchase of Walmart. They call them cash cards, but the gift cards, to purchase the Walmart cash cards. That's the big red flag. If they're asking you to go to a store to purchase gift cards, it's a big red flag. And in this case, they convinced her that she needed to. They convinced her that somebody was using her identity, her money wasn't safe, and she needed to withdraw her money and then send it in gift cards. Which, again, sounds silly, but that's the red flag, and that's how the scam works. So don't fall for it. And be aware of these fake order scams. Again, they could easily fill in any other product, any other retailer, and just, this is, we see you purchased blank from blank. Call us at this number to dispute it, right? And you call that number, that's when they pull you into the whole narrative. So if you do get a order notification, you could confirm it's real by logging into your actual account. Right? If you get a notification from Amazon saying you placed an order, log into your actual Amazon account or the Amazon app and look at your order history. Don't click on any links or call any numbers that it claims. You could check your Amazon account directly. Or if you really want to talk to somebody, go to Amazon.com and find a phone number to call and call them directly. But don't trust phone numbers. Don't trust links. Unfortunately, that's where we're at when it comes to unsolicited contacts. And getting a random order notification would count as a unsolicited contact, right? So, you with me? Let me know in the chat. Let me know if you got any of these fake order scams coming your way, whether emails or text messages. I'm telling you, I get so many of the text message versions of this fake order scam coming in. This one, claims your iCloud ID was used. Multiple people sent this one to me. So it's all part of fake order scams, or a fake purchase scam, they'll call it sometimes. We have a video about this too, so check it out on our YouTube channel later if you want. We show some more examples in there. All right, this next scam is a grandparent scam. And everybody should be angry about these grandparent scammers, because they're just terrible scammers, right? They're targeting your grandparents. They're targeting your parents. They're trying to take advantage of them. And they use you as a relative, as bait. They claim, they impersonate you. They claim you're in trouble, and they fool your parents and your grandparents into giving them money. And it's known as a grandparent scam. And typically how it works is scammers impersonate. They'll call up their victim on the phone and they'll impersonate a relative claiming to be in jail and needing financial help. Victims, usually seniors, act quickly to assist their loved ones. The scammers will often impersonate law enforcement court personnel, and lawyers to extract even more money from the victim. Right? So not only are they targeting your grandparents, your parents, using you as bait, telling them that you're in danger. Not only that, but what they also do is they impersonate all these different agencies to extract as much money as possible. First, they impersonate law enforcement to get you out of jail. You gotta pay, right? Then they impersonate court personnel, right, to get you out and represented. You have to pay. Then they impersonate lawyers. So they just impersonate all these different agencies one after the other until there's no more money to take. And they use you as bait to take advantage of your parents and grandparents and loved ones. So everybody should be in an uproar about this type of scam. And we have some very interesting information and clips to share with you about this scam. And the first thing we're going to share here is an actual video clip of one of these scammers in the Dominican Republic trying to do a grandparent scam. A scam baiter known as, he goes by the name Scam Sandwich, one of these guys that actually, waste scammers' time and try to get into back at them and track them. He actually got into this scammer's computer and was able to watch him through his webcam. And what we're about to watch is known as an opener. And he opens these grandparent scams. Basically, he's the one that reaches out to the victim initially and feeds them this whole narrative. He's the one that impersonates you, he impersonates the police, and he gets the whole narrative going. He's known as an opener. Then he tells the victim to stand by, and he gets handed off to other scammers who then extract as much money as they can from the victim. But what we're about ready to watch is an opener. So if you ever wondered how somebody could fall for a grandparent scam, or how exactly it would work, or how somebody could possibly impersonate you when calling a parent or a grandparent, take a look at this video, and maybe you'll understand why so many people could actually fall for this. Here we go.
Oh, Mom, I had a car accident.
Huh?
I had a car accident, Mom.
Is this Linda?
It's me, Linda.
Where are you?
I got a car accident.
What happened?
I'm gonna put the officer on. I got arrested.
You got arrested?
Hi, ma'am.
Yes.
Hi, are you Linda's mom?
Yes.
What I'm gonna need you to do is grab a pen and paper and write down Linda's case number, ma'am. I need you to hurry up, please, ma'am.
Case number?
It's the number 2.
2?
The letter B as in boy. Can you read that back to me?
2B.
Now, I'm gonna read what's going on, ma'am, okay?
Okay.
Linda was involved in a car accident. It was stated in the police report. She admitted that was her fault. While she was driving, she was using her phone. That's what caused the accident, ma'am, okay?
Oh, man.
The woman that was driving the other vehicle was 7 months pregnant. We had to rush her into the nearby hospital. She might lose her baby.
Oh, really?
Yes. Now, we actually confiscating her cell phone for legal evidence, so she cannot receive or cannot make calls. This is going to be her only last call. Are you with me, ma'am?
Yes, I am.
Now, she actually wrote a note down here saying that she didn't want anyone to know about this. Let's honor her wish for right now because it's too much for her right now. That's what she's saying.
Okay.
What I'm going to need you to do, ma'am, is stay by the phone and wait for the lawyer to call, okay?
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye, ma'am.
All right, bye.
The next.
Yeah, so that was an actual video of one of these grandparent scammers from the Dominican Republic opening what they call a grandparent scam. Again, and that's when he calls up the victim and he impersonates their loved one, impersonates their daughter in this case, crying. So it sounds like, okay, I guess it could be an upset daughter, right? And it's extremely convincing. And a couple interesting things to point out while he watches, right? So first he impersonates the daughter, and then he starts impersonating the police officer, and he turns on the background noise, so it sounds like there's police scanners going on in the background. And he tells the victim that your daughter's phone has been confiscated, right? And he does that so the victim doesn't think to call the phone. Then he says, the request for confidentiality, right? He says that your daughter's embarrassed about this and asks you not to tell anybody. So let's respect her wishes, right? So that's that red flag that we mentioned earlier about requesting the confidentiality, right? And then he asks her to stand by the phone for, a call back. And that's when he hands off the scam to the closers, who are the ones that extract all the money, right? So this guy, he was in the Dominican Republic, part of a group that was doing these grandparent scams. This was actually recorded from him, from his webcam by a scam baiter known as Scam Sandwich. Yeah. So, but it's a fascinating video. It gives you a peek about behind the scenes about how these grandparent scams work. And in fact, we have an article about grandparent scams being run out of the Dominican Republic right here. So, and it gives some interesting details about how this scam works. And it actually describes exactly what we just saw. It actually describes how the opening works and what we just watched in that video. But this is an article about some Dominican Republican scammers that were extradited to Newark Federal Court over New Jersey. And they were participating in a sprawling grandparent scam. And that's what we just talked about, was a grandparent scam in the video we watched. It said 11 Dominican nationals are charged in 19-count indictment. According to the indictment, the conspirators engaged in a long-running grandparent or family in need of bail scam against hundreds of seniors across the United States, including in New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, and Massachusetts. They led a network of call centers in the Dominican Republic, right? So that's important to remember. These are call centers full of scammers. They do this for a living. They answer the phones for a living, impersonate scammers. They call out impersonating scammers, or impersonating law enforcement, or in this case. As detailed in court filings, member of the conspiracy, referred to as openers, right? So that's just the video we just watched was an opener, called elderly victims in the United States and impersonated the victims' children, grandchildren, or other close relatives. So what we just listened to impersonated daughter. The call centers used technology to make it appear that the calls were coming from inside the United States. Always important to remember that they control what the caller ID shows. Just because the caller ID looks like might be local law enforcement doesn't mean it was. Typically, the victim was told that their grandchild had been in a car accident, was arrested in connection with an accident, and needed help. That's what we just heard. Once openers tricked victims into believing their loved ones were in dire trouble, other workers at the call centers, known as closers, allegedly impersonated defense attorneys, police officers, or court personnel and convinced victims to provide thousands of dollars in cash to help their loved ones. Yeah, so see how that scams work? You have the opener that we just listened to. He impersonates the grandchild and claims they've been in an accident, just like this says, and tells the victim to stand by. And then the cash was typically retrieved by couriers or mailed by victims. So yeah, but the good news was they busted up this group, got him extradited, and I don't know if it was the same guy in the video, but it was coming out of the same country over in the Dominican Republic. But they said it was 11 Dominican nationals, right? So these are groups of criminals that do these types of scams. And a few weeks ago, there was a report about a group in Canada, I think, that got busted up too for doing grandparent scams. So they're all over the place. So be aware of grandparent scams, especially your older loved ones know. Your parents, your grandparents. I mean, they're the ones that are specifically targeted by this type of scam. Yeah, see some new viewers. Awesome. Hit that thumbs up. Give us a like. Say hi in the chat. We do this live stream every week just to help spread awareness. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out our videos a little later. And join our free email list, scamaware101.com. Click Join Mailing List. And we send you reminders when we're going to be live. We'll send you some useful scam awareness tips. All good stuff. We won't abuse the privilege, I promise. And you can unsubscribe at any time. But I don't think you will. We're going about going over about 20 different types of scams tonight. We're almost about halfway through here, sharing many examples of emails, text messages, phone calls, and sharing tips and important things to be aware of when protecting yourself and your loved ones from scams. So if you're just joining, say hi in the chat. Let us know you're watching. Hit that thumbs up. Give us a like. See if we get some more people up in here. And let us know your experiences too. Let us know in the chat. See, the vertical live stream says it might be lagging a little bit. If it is, let me know and I'll give it a restart. It looks good over here, so. All right, let's get into some more scams here. Next one we're going to talk about, undeliverable package scams. Just bear with me one sec, just getting that slide ready for you. Lots of good examples of these undeliverable package scams. Victims receive fake notifications about undeliverable packages and are asked to click a link to resolve. The link opens a fake website impersonating UPS, FedEx, or USPS. Any personal or financial details provided by the victim are stolen by the scammers. There never was a package. So this scam was extremely common during the holidays, and it's going to become common again soon enough. I mean, this year's almost halfway over, so it'll be coming soon. But basically, you get text message, they impersonate FedEx, UPS, and any other delivery service. Just because we're pointing out UPS, FedEx, or USPS, they've impersonated DHL, and the list goes on. So the scam is you get a notification saying a package was undeliverable, and then it includes a link to verify your information. And they'll say you have to pay a redelivery fee, usually, like a $3 redelivery fee. That's all fake. It's all part of the scam, right? There is no package. There is no redelivery fee. FedEx, UPS, they don't send text messages like this, about undeliverable packages. From start to finish, this is all a scam. So if you get these types of text messages, rest assured they're a scam. I'm going to show you some examples of those text messages, but let me show you what might happen first if you click on one of those links. You might end up on a fake website that looks like this. Enter new payment method to resend your package. Redelivery will cost $3. And it steals any credit card details you enter. Or you might end up on a website that looks like this. It's got the same colors, the same theme. It's got the logo, the USPS logo here. And it's pretty realistic looking, right? It's a pretty convincing looking website. It's going to steal your shipping address information, your payment method information, anything you put in there. And let's take a look at some examples of what these undeliverable package text messages might look like. From USPS. Due to invalid address, you have a package that needs to be delivered, but it has been suspended due to incorrect delivery address. If you do not update your address before 24 hours, your package will be returned to sender. To delivery, because that's a spelling error, your package, please update your address by click the link below. So in this one, you can see like the grammar and spelling mistakes, things like that. But even though that's always a red flag, now that AI has become more common, we're going to see that less and less. These scams are going to start looking more and more realistic with better grammar and perfect spelling. But the important part is to recognize that this is a scam because you won't get text messages like these from USPS or FedEx. If you do, it's a scam. It includes a fake link that they want you to click, and that's how they steal your information. Here's another example. This was one I received. It was a group text someone created, and they renamed it to USPS, I guess to try and seem more legit. Since the package does not have a house number, the package transportation is interrupted. Please update. And it's got a link to steal my info if I click it. Then there's other version where this text message had an attachment. Sometimes it's an HTML attachment like this example. It has a USPS logo and they make it look all legit. Sometimes it might be one like this where it has USPS.com logo but it's a PDF attachment. And in these cases, opening the attachments, they direct you to the fake website. But as I mentioned earlier, never open unsolicited attachments because this could have easily been a virus, especially since it's an HTML file. But there's an example of these undeliverable package notifications you might receive. All these different types of text messages you might get that are impersonating USPS or FedEx. And here's a little story I'd like to share about this scam that I read in Wired. It's a Wired news article. It came out in August about this scam. And basically, these USPS scammers, they duped this guy's wife, so he hacked their operation. And the thing I find fascinating about this article is it actually gives us a lot more details about who's behind the scam and what they're capable of here. Right? And right off the bat, one of the first things this guy discovered was the Smishing Triad network. It's a Chinese language network, and they're sending out over 100,000 scam texts per day globally. Right? Now, again, this goes back to August, so this is within the year, but as the months go on, I'm sure it became capable of more. So this one group alone was sending out 100,000 scam texts per day of these undeliverable package scam texts. Right? They were a Chinese language group. And he found that people entered, in total, almost 500,000 unique credit cards. So he saw 438,669 unique credit cards. So almost 500,000 credit cards people entered and provided to these scammers and fell for that scam. Said many people entered multiple cards. They had 50,000 email addresses logged across the United States. 20 were military or government email domains. So it sounds like military and government people are falling for this scam as well. But yeah, that gives you an idea of what these scammers are capable of. 100,000 scam text messages per day, and it's successful. They had almost 500,000, 500,000 unique credit cards they almost got. So that's why these scammers do this, because they're having success. People are falling for it. And this is probably why we get so many of these unpaid road toll text messages now. We talked about these unpaid road toll text messages earlier in the live stream, and that's something we need to watch out for. And I think it's safe to say that the groups that were behind these undeliverable package scams, as the holidays kind of wrapped up towards the beginning of the year, they probably pivoted over to the unpaid toll scams. So all these resources, 100,000 text messages a day, they're probably sending out even more for those unpaid road toll scams. So, but anyway, I just like this article because they tricked his wife and the guy hacked him, and now we know all these details about him. So whatever, I count that as a win at least. So we're talking about these undeliverable package text message scams. And they direct you to a website to steal your credit card details. That's the idea. But there's also another version of these undeliverable package scams. The one we talked about was a text message version. But it's important to remember, any text message version scam could pretty much be modified and made an email scam too. So we see it a lot. And this is an example of how this text message scam, there's also email versions. So here's an email version of these undeliverable package scams. And this is from right around the holidays, towards the end of last year, because it was specifically meant to target people for like Black Friday, for holidays. But here's an example of an email. It's a fake email, November 16th, 2024, right around Black Friday holidays. So this email comes in. You can see it has FedEx's logo. We're sorry, your package appears to be delayed. Dear, doesn't have your name there, which is kind of a red flag, right? It just says dear and in comma. We regret to inform you that there's been an issue with the delivery of your recent FedEx shipment. We understand how frustrating this could be, and we're actively investigating what happened to ensure we provide you with the best possible resolution. Sounds professional and everything, right? But where this scam differs is, as an apology, we'd like to offer you a compensation product up to $100 in value. Get your compensation now, right? So instead of asking you to pay a redelivery fee, for your package, they're just claiming it's lost, they're sorry, and to make up for it, they're offering you a free compensation package, right? This is impersonating FedEx. A week later, get the same email, except it's UPS. We're sorry, your package appears to be missing, right? Clearly the same scam and same group, right? It's got UPS's logo, and again, to make it up for your missing package, get compensation now. And then the way this works is, instead of trying to trick you into paying a redelivery fee, like the text message version, we looked at. This email tries to get you to enter your info for shipping. They offer you these free products, and they say just pay shipping. And that's how they steal the credit card details, by tricking the victim into paying for shipping. And I'm going to show you an example of some of these fake websites and fake products, because you'll notice a pattern that a lot of these scams still use similar products. They'll use popular items like wireless earbuds or something like that across their scams. But what's interesting about this undeliverable package scam and this email version is it evolves into a fake retail website scam, right? So it comes in, your package is missing, it's getting your attention by saying, a package was undeliverable, we can't find it. But then it morphs into a fake retail website scam once you click that link. And I'm going to show you some examples of these fake retail websites. So if you click that link, you get taken to a list of products, and this is one of the items it was offering. These wireless headphones, valued at $175, but now you can have it for free by just covering shipping. And that's how they get you. They try to trick you into putting in your shipping information, your payment information. Wow, I'm going to get a $175 pair of headphones for $8. But you're not going to get those headphones, and they're going to steal anything you enter into this website. And you can see the banner up top here. It says Black Friday sale, right? So this was all going on in November, right? Whereas the holidays were approaching and Black Friday and all that. And the scammers know that. They know it. They use that info, and they use it to try and make it seem more realistic. So this is one item that was being offered as free compensation. Here's another one. Portable heater, right? Same Black Friday banner at the top. But portable heater, valued at $175, just pay shipping. That's the same deal. Same people, you can see this layout's the same and everything. And even the price, $175, just pay $69 for shipping. But they'll steal any info you put in here, and you'll never get the heater. And the other example of another product on that page. Earbuds, wireless earbuds. It's the same deal. Over down here it says valued at $175, but just pay shipping, $869. Right? Because wireless earbuds are always a hot item. They're always a good gift around the holidays. But any info you enter is going to get stolen. And the thing about these fake retail website scams is, in the previous example I gave you, we landed here through an email, right? We received that bogus email, impersonates FedEx, offers us a product, click here, and that's how we land on this fake retail website. But that's only one way that you could end up on a website like this, right? There could be any other various type of email that tricks you, just a random email, it's a special offer or valued customer offer, or right? So any kind of email could try to trick you into ending up on one of these fake retail websites, but also ads, right? Facebook, social media websites that you're just scrolling through and you see ads. Anybody could purchase ads, and these scammers do, right? So you could end up seeing an ad that just straight up says, free earbuds, just pay for shipping. Facebook doesn't know if it's a scam or not. You're going to click it, you end up on these fake retail website, right? So the ads, Google results, search engine results, when you're searching, like these scammers, they purchase sponsored results. They purchase the first listings on the results. And they'll even make it look like it's pointing to one site, and it'll take it to a different site. Right, so you could end up on these fake retail websites in so many ways. Banner ads, just browsing the internet, on websites, these websites, they use third-party ad providers. You could be on a legit website that you know is real, but the ad that's being shown it's coming from a third-party web provider. So scammers got in through that way. So the point is, you got to watch out for these fake retail websites out there. And there's many different ways you can be directed to these fake retail websites. A big giveaway is if the offer is too good to be true, right? I mean, they're offering $175 pair of earbuds for $8. I don't believe it. It's not, So if the offer is too good to be true, it probably is. And if you insist on going through with it, putting in your information, at least research the website first then. See if anybody else has used the website. Do a quick Google search for the website and see if there's any reviews or any complaints about it. Right? You want to do a little due diligence. And in this case, in the examples I'm showing you here, when I researched each of the websites, nothing came up. There were no results, no reviews, no information about the websites, which is also an indicator that you can't trust it. That's just as bad as having no reviews and nobody talking about it. Right? If nothing comes up, it's because these were purchased and put in place specifically for the scam. There was no information out about them yet. Right? And that's just as bad as finding bad reviews. So in special cases like this, when you're seeing offers that are too good to be true, make sure other people had good experiences, and be suspicious. Use your intuition when it comes to this stuff. And don't trust it. So these wireless earbuds are important to remember, because the next scam we're going to talk about is actually fake gift card scams. And the example I'm going to show you is actually an email example, but later on we're going to show you a postcard example that also had earbuds, as an offer that was meant to trick people. Yeah, I see some more people watching the chat. Just bear with me if it takes a minute to respond, to switch between the chats and everything in between. Awesome. I see John over in the one chat. Good to see you. Oh, cool. Hey, Elizabeth in the other chat. Very cool. All good stuff. Yeah, I don't know too much about those palette ads. I'll look into those ones. I'll add it into the list to check out. Cool. Good to see everybody. Yeah, if you're just joining, hit that thumbs up. Let us know in the chat that you're here. Might hear your experiences too. Any scams we go over, any of these red flags we encounter, let me know if you've seen them as well. Our goal here is to spread awareness. And you can help by clicking that like button and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Also, you can join our free mailing list on scamaware101.com and click Join Mailing List. We'll send you out reminders when we're going live and also some useful scam awareness tips. Make sure to confirm your email, though. We send the confirmation. Check your junk folder. Sometimes it goes in there. Next scam we're going to talk about are these fake gift card scams. And we have a few different versions of that scam, but the one we're going to talk about right now is an email version. And basically, victims receive an email notification that they received a gift card. When the victim attempts to activate the gift card by clicking a link, malware is installed on their device or a fake website is opened to steal personal information. Right, so you always need to be suspicious of email links in general. I rarely click on links in email if I have to. Try to avoid them at all costs. Go to the website directly. In the case of these gift card scams, the email might look like this. Your $50 gift card is here. Venmo, debit, MasterCard. And in this case, it says your company has given you an employee rewards card. Activate your card today. So, but you don't want to just trust the activation link. That's how the scammers get you, right? So in this case, it says your employee sent you a card. Before you activate it, reach out to your employer and confirm they actually sent it to you. You'd want to say thanks anyway, right? So always confirm. You get some kind of notification that you received the gift card, whether it says from a family member or in this case, your employer. Reach out to them, confirm, and say thank you, right? You're going to say thank you anyway. So, and before you go clicking on any links and trusting random emails that come in. Even if it says who it's from, these scammers know about you. They know your family's names. They have no shame to fill in a family member's name and try to trick you. So, but these gift card scams are common, and that's how they get. They want you to click on the activate link, and that'll steal your personal information. So be suspicious of gift card notifications, that you get an email. And confirm. Always confirm. And verify. And that's the second batch of scams that we go over here. See, we're on schedule. Actually, 5 minutes ahead of schedule. Cool. All right, excellent. So this next section we're going to take a break from going over the scam examples. I'm going to show you some tools and software you could use to protect yourself and be aware of what's going on with these scams and how you might be targeted. And what we've done over at scamaware101.com is we've started building out the website. We really want to make it a one-stop portal to kind of see examples of scams and learn about them and to protect yourself from these scammers by having resources available and tools and software. So we have this page set up called Tools and Software right on our website here on scamaware101.com, Tools and Software. And we've compiled many useful links to online tools and software. It's all provided by third parties, but they're reliable third parties, trustworthy third parties, and these tools can be used to make yourself more aware of the data that's out there about yourself and how to protect yourself. So starting off on this page, the first 4 links that we have, they're data breach lookup tools, right? We have these 4 links. Let me make it a little bigger for you here. And what everybody should do is go to each of these links. Some of them let you put your email address in. Some do email address or phone number, right? And what will happen is it'll come back and it'll tell you what breaches, what security breaches your data has been exposed in, right? And why this is important is because scammers have this information about you. Your data and your information has been stolen from third parties. Your medical information has been breached from third parties. It's available for sale. Scammers have it. And this information will be used against you. A lot of them have your social security numbers. There was a big background check company breached last year, and millions of people's social security numbers were exposed, and scammers are using that now. So there's all this data out there about you because third parties have been breached. Third parties who you have used and trusted with your data. Unfortunately, they have gotten hacked and now your data is out there. So these scammers will use that information to target you. That's how they know what bank you might have already. That's how they know when they target you. They know to say that they're with TD Bank or with Capital One or whatever other bank, right? Because they have this information. They tailor these scams towards you. The medical breach was bad because your doctor, your pharmacy, your diagnosis, everything was exposed about the victims, right? And that data could be used by the scammers to target them now. They could target them and say they're from their pharmacy. They could target them and say they're from their doctor's office. And they'll have all this information to make it sound like it's believable. So these data breaches and these data leaks from third parties are a big problem. And passwords. You need to take a few minutes, look up your email address, look up your phone number, these 4 links. And especially the last 2 links, they'll actually tell you what passwords of yours are out there exposed, right? So there's some scary stuff on here. You might see some passwords that you currently use that are actually have been exposed and the scammers know. And they'll use those passwords against your other accounts as well. So that's why knowing what's out there is important. If you see any of this information, you can protect yourself, right? You see your passwords listed there. Okay, now you know to change your passwords. You see that your social security number has been exposed. Now you know if someone calls up and tries to say they have your social security number, they can be trusted. Now you know any scammer could say that, right? So on our tools and software page, first 4 links, check it out. You could trust they're reliable sources. You could trust with putting your email and phone number in. The results are free. They come back. It's a quick lookup. It's free. It just tells you what you've been exposed in. A couple of them might try to sell you like identity monitoring or whatever after the fact, but the report is free. So definitely check it out. See what data of yours has been exposed. It's very important. Find out what passwords and what data has been exposed by using these 4 links here. The next section we have here is some security software, and these we actually got approved as an affiliate for. So we put some links up here to save you off the cost, and we get a little bit of cut from it. But these 3 products that we have listed here, I trust. I've used them. I do stand behind them, so I had no issues with putting a link up here and as an affiliate and getting a cut. So, and they're pretty good deals. We just picked the best deal that they allowed us to, and I put the link up here to give everybody as much savings as possible. So the 3 pieces of software that we have up here with the links to, we have NordPass, and that's a password manager. And that also helps protect yourself by storing your passwords, meaning you could use different passwords across all accounts. Right? It's a giant pain to remember all your different passwords, but that's why you have a password manager. Then, if your password gets exposed for one account, your other accounts won't be affected because you use a different password. So the idea is to have all these different passwords across all these different accounts, but you keep track of it with a password manager. And in this case, NordPass is what I have a link here to. They're pretty much the industry standard and one of the big names out there, trustworthy names, and same people that make NordVPN. But we have the link here, save 56% off and get 3 extra months. It ends up being like 2 years for $35, something like that. So yeah, if you want to use a password manager or you were thinking about purchasing NordPass, use the link, save some money, and we get a small cut. Link's right here on our tools and software page. The next link is to NordVPN. Right, VPN's good. It hides your internet browsing history. It makes your IP address harder to link to certain things. It's good to use when you're at public Wi-Fi, like an airport or a cafe. So it's good to have a VPN to help protect your data that way, especially when you're on public networks. NordVPN is a big name, trustworthy, been out forever. Same people make NordPass. They're known in the industry. So here's the link. Save 72% off and up to a year free. So it ends up being like $100 for like 2 years or something like that. Forget the exact cost, but super cheap, and it's a good deal. So you want to have a VPN or you're considering using a VPN, go check out this link here and save a nice chunk of cash. And the last link we have here, just with a deal, is a 25% off of Malwarebytes Premium. So Malwarebytes is a Malwarebytes Free is a great piece of software. Scans your computer, finds a lot of malicious software, cleans it up a little bit for you. I've been recommending Malwarebytes Free for years, but that just runs scans. You have to actually open it up and run a scan. It doesn't have real-time protection. Well, Malwarebytes Premium does have real-time protection. So if you don't have any antivirus and you're interested in having a antivirus, paying for one, Malwarebytes Premium is the way to go, and here's a link to save 25%. So there you have it. Those were 3 security and privacy software links that we have on our tools and software page. But those are the paid ones with a couple deals for you. Then we have some links to some free ones too. Right? We got Malware Browser Guard, Malwarebytes Browser Guard, made by the same people that make Malwarebytes, but it's a free browser extension. Right? I've been using it for months now. I have this extension. I have it enabled in Chrome. It blocks ads and scams and all sorts of things that those fake virus pop-ups that you would get. Nothing's 100%, but it's a good layer of security to have in your browser. There's an extra layer there, and my experience with it has been really good so far. In fact, some of those links up above, if you have the browser guard installed, it'll actually block you from clicking on some of my affiliate links. So there you go. So make sure to disable it from my site if you're going to click my affiliate links. But anyway, Malwarebytes Browser Guard is free. It's just a free browser extension. I'm happy with it, and the link's here if you want to use it. Malwarebytes Free, I already mentioned that one in general. That's the virus software that you could run on demand and clean up your computer. It's great. If you've never used it, it's worth downloading and running your computer. So if you got anything bad on there, any pop-ups or anything bad, you could run it next to your antivirus, and it shouldn't interfere with it at all. And then if you need a free antivirus, meaning you don't have any antivirus at all, you're just relying on the default Windows antivirus, it's always good to have some kind of antivirus, better than just relying on your Windows built in. And so there's a link to the Bitdefender antivirus. It's pretty good free antivirus. I like it. It's got great reviews, and every now and then it tries to convince you to buy the premium version. Other than that, it's good. So if you don't have antivirus, it's better than not having any antivirus at all. So Bitdefender antivirus free. Links on here if you want to download it. And a couple other useful services we have linked on here on our tools and software page. Again, these are all free. So there's a reverse image lookup service. We have a link to 3 different services that you can use. So what's a reverse image lookup? This is good for romance scams or dating websites, right? If you're meeting people online, scammers are going to give you fake pictures. They want to convince you that they're someone they're not, right? So what you do is you take that picture and you can run it through these reverse image searches. They'll come back. They'll tell you if they found the picture anywhere else on the internet. So if it comes back, the person's probably imitating somebody else. They stole somebody's pictures and they're not who they say they are, right? So we have 3 different links. We got one called TinEye, which is well known. We got one to Bing Visual Search because you can use Bing, And we have a link to Google image search, because you can actually do an image search for someone's picture through Google as well. So those 3 links are here. If you're talking to somebody online, especially if you met them on a dating website, take a minute, run their pictures through here and see if they show up anywhere else. And then last couple links we have are just some website safety lookup tools. We mentioned earlier about those fake retail websites. These tools might have been something you could have used to check them out or verify what people are saying about a site. So we linked to Norton Safe Web. And you can just pop in the website name on Norton Safe Web. It'll come back, tell you if it's got any community ratings or reviews. Google Safe Browsing. You check if a website is detected as unsafe or dangerous to visit. And Virus Total, which you pop in the website, it'll come back and tell you if it detected malware, other breaches, things like that. So just some few useful links if you're just researching the background of a website, seeing if it's trustworthy and if it's got any reports about being a scam. And the last 2 links we have here on our tools and software page are some scam report lookup tools. The first one is from the BBB and the second one is from AARP. And they're both these scam tracker maps where they just map out the reports that come in about scams. Very cool tool. And actually what we do, we usually close out this live stream. One of the last things we do is I bring up the AARP scam tracking map, and we take a look at where some recent reports are coming in and what scams are being reported. It's a fun little tool to use. And stick around till the end of this live stream, and that's how we usually close out. But the links are right here on our tools and software page for you to access to mess with yourself as well. And while you're here on our website checking out the links on this page, why not click on Join Mailing List, right here towards the bottom of the site and also on our homepage. We also have a donate button here too. So if anybody wants to donate money, I won't tell you not to. So there's a donate button here too if you want to financially support our mission. But anyway, all useful tools on our tools and software page. Make sure to check out those. If you do anything, make sure to check out those 4 links and see what information about you is out there. See what information has been stolen, from third parties, and it's important to know, especially the passwords that might come back. That's our tools and software page. Hey, Nigella, welcome back. Good to see you. Cool. All right, everybody, welcome. We're about 2/3 of the way through here. Our live stream. We still got some good stuff coming up. We got about an hour left here. Maybe less. We'll see. If we hit that like button and people start coming, we'll fill them up. I'll go all night. But worst case, we still got some good scam examples coming up. We got some Social Security scams, IRS scams, some discount scams where they leave you a voicemail. We're going to play a recording of that for you. And then we go into some snail mail scams. And these are fun because sometimes you forget that these snail mail scams are still out there. We're also used to getting phone calls and emails. But there's a lot of scams that come in the mail too. So we got some examples of those to share as well as we proceed with the live stream. And it looks like we're ahead of schedule too. So that is cool. Usually I take another quick 5 minutes to fill my coffee here. Let's monitor the chat for a minute though. Usually I'll take a quick 5 minute, fill my coffee, but let's see what's going on in the chat first of all. I see some activity here. So we got John in the other chat. Being kind of quiet tonight though. John's usually the social butterfly up in there. Let's see. We've got Nigella back. Good to see you. Nigella's saying, I get typically 6 economic robocalls and 1 phone in 30 minutes. They call and hang up right away. Once your number's out there, the more lists it's on, right? Well, awesome. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Got a good crowd tonight. Always remember to hit that thumbs up if you haven't yet. It always helps. I think I'm going to take a quick 5-minute, fill up my coffee for a last time tonight, and then we'll continue with the third portion of our live stream, uninterrupted. So, cool. So hang around for 5 more minutes. We'll jump into our next batch of scams. In the meantime, say hi in the chat. Let me know your experiences. I'll be back in un momento. All right, one more minute. We'll get started again. All right. Coffee cup is full. My Scamware 101 travel mug, available on our YouTube store. This is why I have so much trouble sleeping Thursday nights. I go through so much coffee in these live streams. All right, we're going to start with the third and final portion of our weekly live stream here. If you're just joining us, I'm Jared with Scamware 101. And we do this live stream every Thursday, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Time, with the mission of spreading awareness of scams that are currently circulating to watch out for. You know, scam awareness is important. It's critical to protect yourself and your loved ones now more than ever. You know, scammers using AI to become even more convincing. And, you know, knowing is, what was that old saying? Knowing is half the battle, right? Well, in this case, I think it's a lot more, because if you fall for these scams, a lot of times you'll never get those funds back. A lot of times, once these scammers get it, that's it. You're not going to get back from the bank. It's sad, right? And a lot of times it's just these little tidbits of information or these red flags where if the victim was just aware of that one little detail or one little red flag would have been enough to save them, you know, the headache. But they didn't. So that's why we do this live stream. We want to spread awareness of these red flags and the type of scams that are circulating, and so you can protect yourself and your loved ones. We also release videos. So most of the scams we go over, we have videos on our YouTube channel, and you can check that out later. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't yet. But a lot of the examples we share, we have videos for too. So you can go back and reshare those or watch those with your friends and family, make them aware of these scams. You can subscribe to our free mailing list. You go to scamaware101.com and click join mailing list. It's free to subscribe. We just send out reminders about our live streams and some useful scam awareness tips from time to time. So we'll let you know what's going on over here at Scamware 101. Oh, you know what? You could also follow us. I haven't mentioned it tonight at all. Don't forget to follow us on your favorite social media platforms. All right, we're on Facebook, Threads, Instagram, X, Blue Sky. So if you're on those, you know, go find us. Scamware 101. That's our name on all of them. And if you can't find us, we have the links right on our homepage here on scamaware101.com. We have links to each, our official profiles there. So follow us, like us, and help spread awareness. All right, so we're going to get started on some more common scams here. We'll get started with Social Security scams. And now there's a couple types of Social Security scams to watch out for. One of them is impersonation. And in this case, so fraudsters impersonate Social Security officials, claiming issues with the victim's number of benefits. They threaten action unless immediate payment or information is provided. Right. So in this type of Social Security scam, they're calling up the victim and they're impersonating Social Security. And they're claiming that they owe money, or they're trying to get information from the victim, you know, their number, their benefits. And in the case when you get a phone call like that, hang up. Hang up. There's nothing wrong with hanging up. In fact, nowadays, any unsolicited phone call, like, you have to hang up. You have to hang up and verify. You know, you don't have to be mean about it. Sorry, I'll tell you, I gotta call someone else and verify, or you know, hang up. The point is, you don't have to trust, and you shouldn't trust an unsolicited phone call from someone. Always verify who you're talking to, and especially in this case, Social Security, right? We know that these scammers, they will show the number for Social Security on your caller ID. They'll impersonate Social Security, and they'll show the phone number of your caller ID. And we know that's happening across many other scams. They can manipulate what the phone number shows. And the only way to know that you're truly talking to somebody from over there is to hang up and then call, you know, Social Security directly. Not the number they tell you to. You know, go find the official contact information. But you have to verify who you're talking to. And in these cases of these Social Security impersonation scams, they're going to call you up. They're going to tell you they're with Social Security. And get your personal information. And this is a big problem. There's been many warnings issued by the Social Security Administration, and even on their letters that they send out, their physical letters, on the envelope, it says, watch out for scams. So it's been a big problem with Social Security, and important to be aware of. But another type of Social Security impersonation scam to watch out for, I have an example here of an email that a friend received, and it was made to look like it came from Social Security, and a statement, with a link to download a statement. So here it is. This is what it looks like on our phone, right? It comes in, it says Department of, and you can't see who it is unless you click it. You have to click it to see what the full email is. And then it says, to see your statement, please download the file from this link. And the link looks like it points to SSA.gov, Social Security's website. It looks like it points there. It says, we hope you find your new statement useful and informative. Thank you for using the Social Security Administration services. Please do not reply to this email. Right, and then at the very bottom it says, this file works on computers only. That's a little bit of a red flag right there, right? Because they're trying to get you to install a virus. But anyway, the whole point is, this is what the email looks like on someone's phone. You can't really tell what the email address really is, and the link looks like it points to SSA.gov. But in reality, if you look at this email on a computer, you could tell a little bit more, right? You could tell, one, the email address it came from isn't a .gov email address. It's another country, .ke. I think that's probably Kenya or something like that. And then the link that looked like it was for SSA.gov, the link, if you hover the mouse over it, actually points to a completely different website. Some gibberish website, right? So this is probably going to download a virus on your computer, which is why at the very end they say this file works on computers only, right? But so this is another type of scam you need to watch out as far as Social Security is concerned. Not just phone calls coming in and people impersonating Social Security, but also random emails like this that come in claiming that there's a statement attached for Social Security, or there's a report to download for Social Security. This could easily have been an email saying there's an important update regarding Social Security. Click here. And it scares somebody into thinking, okay, I better click this link and see what's going on. And you know what? Especially right now, just be aware of all sorts of Social Security scams, right? Because when something's in the media, or when something's getting attention, or when changes are happening to some kind of government program, the scammers know this, and they take advantage of that. And they'll send out emails, specifically regarding that. So I know there's always talk about Social Security right now. It's a hot topic. So be aware of scammers taking advantage of that and emailing people about Social Security, calling people and emailing people. Stay aware. So that's a couple examples of Social Security scams. It's not just impersonation you need to worry about. The next couple are some IRS or tax-related scams that go on during tax season. Let me show you a couple examples of these. And hey, let me know in the chat if you run into these scams or different types of these scams, because there's so many different versions and different variations. And I see Nigella's in the chat. All good stuff you're saying there. Yep. Yeah, so you're getting the SSA scams. You get them all, Nigella. Huh. All right, so let's talk IRS scams. So similar to Social Security ones, there's different kinds of IRS scams we need to watch out for. The first one would be IRS impersonation scams. The fraudsters impersonate tax authorities, claiming the victim owes taxes and must pay immediately to avoid penalties or arrest. They often demand payment by untraceable methods. So in this case, the scammer is impersonating the IRS, and they're saying that there's issues with the account. You owe money or back taxes, and you need to pay immediately. And they're trying to scare the victim that way, which is common of scammers. They like to scare a victim. They want the victim to be a little nervous, so they kind of act quickly without thinking, right? So in this case, a lot of times it's phone calls. It could also be emails. It could even be fake letters. People sending out physical letters saying you owe taxes. The scammers will use all different forms of communication. If they could, and their scams can be adapted to fit all different forms of communication. So always keep in mind, watch out for IRS impersonation scams, where they're claiming you owe money and there's back taxes, they're calling you about it, they're emailing you about it. What you could do is log into your IRS account and confirm, right? Go directly to the irs.gov website, and you can either log into your account or create an account, right? And you can see what's actually going on. And that's how you confirm. You don't want to trust the phone numbers on any of these notifications. You don't want to trust the emails on any of these notifications. But you want to reach out to the official source, irs.gov works, and see what's, log into your account and see what's going on. Another example, though, of a IRS impersonation. So that's one variation of an IRS impersonation, right? Somebody's calling up and they're saying, hey, I'm with the IRS, you owe us money. Another variation of impersonation is this text message. This one is basically impersonating them in a text message. And it says, you are eligible to receive an economic impact payment, $1,400. So this scam, they're actually saying you're entitled to money, and you should click this link to confirm your info. All right, so let me read this to you. If you are eligible to receive, they said, Internal Revenue Service, IRS, you are eligible to receive a $1,400 economic impact payment. Please provide your accurate personal information. We will deposit the amount into your bank account or mail a paper check within 1 to 2 business days. Then it has a link to a fake website that's made to look like it's irs.gov, but actually not. It's actually irs.gov.subsidy.ion.com. So it's actually a fake website, and they try to make it look like it's irs.gov. But notice this red flag here, too, at the bottom. Please reply with yes, then reopen the text message. We've seen that on earlier scam text messages, too. It's always a red flag when they want you to reply and reopen. So you see that instruction there, it's a red flag. But this specific text message offering the $1,400 economic impact payment, this is circulating this tax season, and we were specifically warned from the IRS about this specific text message circulating this tax season, offering a $1,400 economic impact payment. The IRS will not send text messages like this. So you would not be getting any text messages like this from the IRS. So if you did get this, this is a scam, especially if it's claiming a $1,400 economic impact payment. So if you get a text message like this, hit report junk and do not reply yes, and don't click the link. They'll steal any information you provide about yourself will get stolen if you click that link. So those are two types of IRS impersonation scams to watch out for, right? The ones that come through claiming you're entitled to a payment and they're trying to trick you, and then you have the ones where they're saying you owe money and they're trying to trick you, right? So gotta watch out for both when it comes to tax season. And the other type of scam they need to watch out for tax season as well is not just IRS impersonation scams, but these fake tax forgiveness services that start circulating this time of year. And what a lot of them are is a lot of phone calls, right? A lot of phone calls from these tax forgiveness services. And I'm going to play a phone call for you right now as an example of one you might receive. I received this phone call. Many other people reported the recording of the same phone call to me. So this one was circulating a lot and probably still is circulating a lot. And you'll notice it starts off right from the bat. It just says, you owe back taxes. and it doesn't, it's a robocall, right? It doesn't know who it's calling. It's everybody it calls is just saying, you owe back taxes. So right off the bat, it's trying to scare the person who answers into think, oh, I owe back taxes. Oh no, right? So that's a red flag. But anyway, I'm going to play this recording for you. And it's one example of a tax forgiveness call that's circulating right now during, it's still close enough to tax season where this call's circulating. And it's circulating the scare people who did file, the people that filed their taxes. They get this phone call and they think they did something wrong too. So this call's will be circulating for a while, even after tax season a little bit. But let me play one version of this phone call for you here. There's many different variations circulating.
Hi, this is Lindsay Carter from the Activation Department. Give me a call back at 833-850-2527. Our records indicate you have some back taxes owed. You're now eligible to apply for them to be forgiven with the Zero Tax Balance Program. Any back owed taxes can be enrolled to be forgiven through this program. But we do need to sign up this week. Just give me a call so we can start the process. It's really quick, and I'll keep your file open here. So my number is 833-850-2527. If you've already resolved this, call back and press 2 to be removed. Can't wait to speak with you. 2.
Right, so that's an example of a tax forgiveness scam call that you might get. Now, it's funny. I went to call back that number and kind of record what happened next, but it ended up leading to a deadline, and there was nothing to record. It was a mess. So you could tell right off the bat it wasn't even a real company in the first place. It's just a scam that, who knows, maybe the number got shut down or something. But yeah, so you gotta watch out for these tax forgiveness scams. I'm still getting a lot of calls, and it's just, whether you owe taxes or not, the robocall says the same thing. And that example we heard is a good example of how it sounds really realistic. That one actually sounded like it could have been a real person that, she's like, I'll keep your file on my desk, or, like, it sounds like a real person. Maybe it's personalized. Like, wow, maybe this is a person calling me, but that's just a robocall. And it says the same thing to everybody. There was nothing in that call that was actually personally, identifiable, right? It was the same. It's just a robocall that anybody could hear it. And some people are going to think that's a real person reaching out to them, and they're going to call back and get scammed. So watch out for these fake tax forgiveness scams that are circulating a lot this time of year. I'm sure tons of other IRS scams going around, but those are just two that happen to be at the forefront and I happen to have examples for. And if you're just joining us, say hi in the chat. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't yet. See, it's in about 5:30 on the West Coast now, so we usually get a little bump in viewers during this time as the West Coast starts getting home from work and join the live stream. So any West Coast viewers join us now, good to see you, and see if some more join. Next scam is a discount scam, for lack of a better word. But I have a recording of a phone call. There's a voicemail about a discount for a Comcast discount. And I'm not a Comcast customer, so I knew right off the bat that it wasn't a real phone call. But you'll hear why in a moment. Let's just find it. So here's a recording. It claims to be Comcast offering.
Hello. This voicemail is from Comcast Xfinity. Your current 50% discount on your monthly bill will expire by the end of the day. To maintain your reduced rate, call the number on your caller ID immediately. This is your final reminder to act. Call back now. Thank you.
Right, so it's a strange phone call saying that your existing 50% discount is going to expire with Comcast. So if you were a Comcast customer and you get that phone call, you're thinking, wait a minute, my Comcast bill is going to double? What's going on here? Right, and that's the scam. They're trying to pull you in with that. In our last live stream 2 weeks ago, we actually found a report that someone did about this type of scam. And it gave a little bit more details about it. So I made sure to screenshot it here. And basically, this person said, cable called to offer me 50% off my bill. Right, that's pretty much what we just heard. The person left a voicemail number to call back. I called back and was answered with a whole recording, picked up the line. They gave me the details on a promotion. They knew the amount I pay each month through autopay. They said because I was a valued customer, I was offered 6 months at an extremely discounted rate. They knew the amount and told me the last 4 of my checking account number that was debited. Due in 3 days if I wanted to go for it. I decided to do it. They told me they were teaming up with Target and I could pay with a new Target credit card or gift card. So that's where the scam goes. They pull you in with this, oh, your bill's going to expire, this and that. But eventually it leads to purchasing gift cards. They told me they were teaming up with Target. I could pay with a new Target credit card or gift cards, and I would need to pay 6 months in advance. I got the cards and called the billing department with the info on the cards. All is well until the next day. They called to tell me the cards did not go through. I needed to call Target and get new cards. I knew I'd been scammed. So in his case, that last part where they said the cards didn't go through, they were actually lying. That was part of an additional scam. The cards did go through. Now they're just trying to get more from them. So they're calling back saying, hey, we need you to get more gift cards. Because that's what these scammers do. But isn't it interesting how the scam evolved? It starts with a simple phone call recording that says your cable bill is 50% off. Right? And we just listened to an example of that, saying my cable bill is going to expire. Or 50% is going to expire. And at least according to this report from a victim, after he got pulled in with that, they said he could get that deal, but he had to pay for 6 months in advance with a Target gift card. So he's thinking he's just paying for he's thinking he's getting his great deal, paying his cable bill 6 months in advance, because they're doing a deal with Target, but he's actually being tricked into purchasing a Target gift card. Anyway, so it's a strange scam, but you can see how it all starts from a call that might sound like this.
Hello, this voicemail is from Comcast Xfinity. Your current 50% discount on your monthly bill will expire by the end of the day. To maintain your reduced rate, call the number on your caller ID immediately. This is your final reminder to act. Call back now. Thank you.
There's so much about that recording too, right? They say call back immediately. They're trying to get you to act quickly. It says call back at the number on your screen, which is always a red flag, because if they were legit, they would leave a phone number. They wouldn't be telling you to look at your, call back a number on your screen. So there's so many red flags about that recording. And for the longest time, I didn't even know what this scam would end up leading to. But you could tell from just those red flags, you could tell that it's a scam. And that's the whole point of why we talk about these red flags and why we share these examples. Because just hearing that recording alone, it should register, okay, I know how this scam goes. And there's only a red flag, call number on screen. It's a scam. I heard how these scams go. Right? And, we want to minimize. You don't want to engage at all with the scammer. The sooner you realize it's a scam, do not engage, ignore. Right? That's the goal. That's the point of scam awareness. And hopefully it prevents you from getting scammed at all. So anyway, that's a fake discount scam that ends up leading into trying to trick the victim into purchasing gift cards. So all good stuff. How we doing out there? Who's still with us here as we start getting to the final portions of our live stream, our weekly live stream here on ScamAware 101, where our mission is to spread awareness of these scams so you can protect yourself, protect your loved ones, and know what's going on out there with all these scammers always text messaging us and calling us and emailing us and doing everything they can, even sending us actual snail mail letters and postcards, which we're about to go over in a few minutes here. Yeah, so for the final portion of our live stream here, what we do is the final examples of scams portion, we go over some snail mail scams. That's right, snail mail scams. So, the Postal Service. Scammers still use the Postal Service to send out their scam letters. Still quite common. And I think a lot of us, at least myself, it's easy to forget. We're used to getting phone calls all day and text messages all day and emails all day trying to scam us, but we forget they'll send us letters too in the mail to scam us. That's what they did before the internet was around, and there's no reason that they won't still do it. And we have some examples of those scams to share with you and show you, because you always got to keep your guard up and be able to spot these scams. Luckily, there's red flags that carry through all of these, that if you're aware of them, it'll help protect yourself. So let's dive right into it. The first snail mail scam we're going to talk about is a free gift postcard scam. So remember how, if you were on a few minutes ago, one of the last scams we talked about was the fake gift card email. The emails that say you've got a gift card, someone's sending you a gift card. Well, the version we're going to go over now is a snail mail version of that scam. And in this version, victims receive a physical postcard in the mail offering a free gift. When the victim attempts to activate the gift card by scanning a QR code usually, malware is installed on their device or a fake website is opened to steal personal information. Right? And this is a postcard. It actually comes in your mailbox on a postcard and it's a free gift. And it can be made to look like it's from a vendor or from anyone. An example of that is this postcard right here that offers free wireless Bluetooth earbuds. Right? Sound familiar when we were talking about our fake retail websites and one of the products was wireless Bluetooth earbuds? It's a popular item, right? So you'll see it used across a lot of scams. Scammers love to incorporate items that are popular at the time, especially during the holidays, whatever the hot item is that year. But in this case, is an example of a postcard, right? It's offering free wireless Bluetooth earbuds and has a QR code to scan, which we're going to talk a little bit about QR code scams in a minute. But the example we're looking at here is, it could land in anybody's mailbox, physical mailbox, postcard, free wireless Bluetooth earbuds. And the person that submitted this example says if you scan the code, it takes you to a phishing website that captures your personal information such as name, address, Amazon account, and even your credit card number. So if it's too good to be true, it probably is. So definitely research it and be suspicious. Even if just because it's a physical postcard that lands in your mailbox doesn't mean you could really trust it more than anything else. Which brings us to QR code scams in general, right? So I'm going to be coming up with a whole new section of this live stream just to talk about QR code scams. But for now, it's important just to get the information and awareness out there. QR code scams, it's a thing now, right? A few years ago, QR codes weren't that popular. People didn't know really how to use them or anything. But when COVID came around and everything went hands-free and you were scanning QR codes on restaurant menus, it's a thing now. Everybody knows how to use QR codes, and the scammers have started utilizing them for more of their scams. So a lot of times there'll be flyers with QR codes to scan. You scan a QR code, it's going to take you to a fake website. Some recent reports we've been hearing are the parking meters. Those parking meters that have a QR code to scan to pay? The scammers will put a sticker of a QR code on top of the real one. They'll put their fake QR code on top of it. So victims end up scanning that and they're getting taken to a fake website to pay their parking. Fake tickets. There's been reports of actual paper tickets being found in windshields, people's windshields for parking tickets. And it has a QR code to scan. If you scan a QR code, it's going to take you to a fake website to pay that ticket. The website's going to steal any billing information you put in. All right. So it's important to be suspicious of QR codes because QR codes are the same thing as links. That's the reality of it. Just like you can't just trust any link that's sent to you, right? QR codes are the same thing. It's just you scan a QR code, it takes you to a link. It's like scanning a link, right? It's the same idea. So be suspicious of QR codes. Don't scan them from untrusted sources. If you know the website they're supposed to point to, just go directly to the website instead of scanning it. And be suspicious of these postcards that come in offering you free gift cards. Scan this that have a QR code to scan. And stay tuned. In the future, I'll have some more examples of actual QR code scams, and we'll have a nice little portion of this live stream that goes over them more. So if you don't subscribe yet, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can see when our future live streams come up and be reminded. How are you all doing out there? I see some more viewers. Good to see you. Say hi in the chat. Let me know you're watching. Let me know how you found us. Click that thumbs up and give us a like. The more likes we get, the more subscribers we get, the more YouTube shares our content out there and spreads awareness about these scams. It really does help. So hit that thumbs up button if you haven't yet. Say hi in the chat. You can join our free email list on scamaware101.com. Click join mailing list. We'll send you some reminders when we are going live and some other useful scam awareness tips. So also you can follow us on your favorite social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Threads, Instagram, X, Blue Sky. We're on Scamaware 101. But if you can't find us, we have the links right on our homepage here. So follow us on your favorite social media platforms. And take a look at our website while you're there too. Have some useful resources set up, some tools and software page we talked about earlier with some very useful links. We're building out a knowledge base. It's coming along slowly, but we're getting it built out here. And the idea is we have about 60 scams so far I could get added to this, but we've got about 10 or so. And the idea is to have the list of scams here. You can click on them. For example, a fake order scam. And it takes you to a page with a definition about the fake order scam, a slide that you could save and reshare. It has a link to the video we did about fake order scams. I want to get some more examples of these scams actually here that could be referenced and people could, find. So we're building out this knowledge base, and we'll let you know how it goes. If you join our email list, we'll send you periodic updates, and we'll let you know on our live streams how it's coming along. But we're trying to build out our website and put some useful things in here. We have our educational resources. Right, click that. It links to a whole bunch of third-party resources regarding this. Links to the credit reporting agencies. If you get scammed, and scammers are trying to create accounts under your name and they've stolen your identity, you might be left with no choice but to go in there and get lock your credit up so new accounts can't be created. And in a case like that, you go to each agency here. We have a link to each. You go to each. You can lock your credit, and there's also a link to get a free credit report, so you could at least you get one annually for free and see if there's any suspicious activity. So we have all those links here. We don't make anything off it. It's just just useful resources, and we're trying to get everything on our site for everybody. Links to some government resources, FTC, Social Security, FBI, IC3, to specific areas where they're warning about scams. Some links to some pages that some banks put up with some Capital One, Chase Bank, Citizens. Any info helps, But yeah, join our free mailing list, scamaware101.com. And just make sure to check your junk mail folder because the confirmation email might get sent there. But anyway, let's continue. Where are we at? We're at QR code scams, inheritance scams. We're talking about snail mail scams if you're just joining us. Good old U.S. Postal Service scams, and they're currently circulating. So, an inheritance scam. Victims are contacted with claims of a large inheritance from an unknown relative, but to claim it, they must pay fees or provide personal details. These scams exploit curiosity and greed to steal money and identity information. Look, so how these inheritance scams work, and the example I'm going to show you is going to be a actual snail mail physical letter that was received, but there's plenty of email versions of the same scam. And how it works is you're contacted by somebody impersonating a law office, claiming someone sharing the same last name who passed away had an insurance policy and you're entitled to it for sharing the same last name. And of course, it'll be a law office that's claiming to help handle the process for you from start to finish. And they'll usually tell you it's a large sum like $10 million. But the scam comes in where they'll tell you that you have to pay taxes or fees on the $10 million to receive payment. And that's when the scammers get you. They keep that money that you pay for taxes and fees, and then you never get any inheritance because it never was an inheritance. And that's how the scam works. And in this example you could see on my screen, there's an actual letter that was sent. And you can see it's got the fake letterhead, and it looks professional. It's got a law office name there, and a supposed reference number. Right, it claims to be a law office in Canada. And the name of the person this was sent to was also used as the name of the person as the deceased in the description. The same last name was correctly on the letter. But basically, the letter goes on to state they're a law office. Their deceased client had a life insurance policy, $10 million. You have the same last name. They couldn't find any other relatives, so you're entitled to that $10 million inheritance. They're asking for a partnership. They'll handle the whole process for you. And that, towards the end of the letter, it says, I do have all necessary documentation to expedite the process in a highly professional and confidential manner. I will provide all the relevant documents to substantiate your claim as beneficiary. This claim requires a high level of confidentiality, and it may take up to 30 days. Right? So notice that he kept on mentioning confidentiality. That's that red flag we mentioned earlier when we were discussing red flags. Now, they're asking for confidentiality because they don't want you to tell anybody about this. Someone might know that this is a scam or tell you to look into it more. When we Googled some of the wording of this letter, we found plenty of people posting the same exact letter. They received the same exact letter from the same fake law office, and the only thing that was different was just the name of who it was addressed to and the name of the supposed deceased. But this is an example of an actual physical letter that's, you see it's dated November 29th, 2024, so it's less than a year old. And it can't be trusted just because it came, in your mailbox. So definitely need to do your due diligence. And again, it didn't take long. We just did a couple Google searches from some key phrases, the law office, and the reports came up right away about other people receiving the same exact letter, word for word. So that's an example of a inheritance scam. And there's no reason this scam can't be adapted to an email as well. You get an email claiming to be from a law office, you have an inheritance, same type of scam. So be aware this is going on and it's happening. Let's talk about some fake renewal scams. Now, again, the examples we're sharing right now are snail mail examples using the U.S. Postal Service. But these examples can be easily adapted and are adapted for email as well. I mean, how many times do you get fake emails claiming your Amazon Prime account needs to be renewed, and click here, or your Netflix billing information needs to be updated. Click here, right? These are all fake renewal scams. Victims are notified about renewals for subscriptions they don't have and prompted to provide a payment to cancel. The description is a little off, but basically it's any type of fake request to renew a service that even if you have the service, it might not be up for renewal. Scammers, that's even better. Scammers trying to trick you that a service that you have, the scammer tries to trick you into paying them for it. We see this a lot with Amazon Prime. The scammers will send out emails saying your Amazon Prime account needs to be renewed, and to click this link, but the link will steal your information. So those are all types of fake renewal scams. But in this example I'm going to share with you is a letter that was received. And this one's made to look like it's for a business listing. And the wording is done in a way where they're probably protected legally, just wording wise. But they make this look like a renewal. Right, returned by this date, July 26th, right, it has a date listed here. And they're making it sound like you have a 12-month term for something. Some kind of business listing in this case. But it's an example of just a sneaky kind of letter you might get that makes you think there's something here I need to renew. A lot of businesses get targeted with this type of scam too, because a lot of times the finance department will just say, "Oh, it's a $289 bill. It looks important," and they'll just give a credit card and pay it. So businesses get targeted with this type of fake subscription renewal type scam too. But in this example, it was a letter that came to a residence, and yeah, that's just always a good example of these letters that they're designed to look like an important renewal, but it's really just, at the very least, it's to get you signed up for a new service that you didn't realize you needed, or that you don't need. So that's an example of a fake renewal letter you might get. But again, you need to look out for this type of scam in emails too. And even that phone call I played earlier about the discount, they were saying basically saying my monthly renewal is going to renew, but it's going to be 50% more, right? I mean, maybe that could be considered a kind of renewal scam as well. And remember, it's a numbers game to them. They'll send out like a fake Netflix renewal email. They'll send it out to thousands and thousands of people. Not all of them will have Netflix, but they know some of them will. And the ones that do might fall for it, thinking it's actually from Netflix. All right, I see some more people joining us. Good to see you. Hit that thumbs up. Give us a like. Say hi in the chat. We're getting towards the end of our live stream here. We got one more example we're going to share, and then we're going to go into our final portion of the live stream, which is a fun little, we check out the tracking map, the scam tracking map, and there's a fun little exercise we do before wrapping up the live stream. But first, let's take a look at our last snail mail scam example here, which is actually a secret shopper scam. A secret survey or mystery shopper scam. And we actually just did a video about this scam. We released it earlier in the week. It's a secret survey, secret shopper, mystery shopper scam. And this is actually, it's a good example of a snail mail scam. And how it works is someone will receive a letter that actually contains a check. The letter will contain an actual paper check. And here's an example. It makes it look like it's from Walgreens or CVS. It says, congratulations, you've been assigned a secret survey assignment, basically to be a mystery shopper. And included in an envelope is a check for $2,480. And it says $450 of that is for commission. So it basically says you've been selected as a mystery shopper. Here's a check to cover all the costs to go out and do the shopping for us. Then what happens is it instructs the person to go purchase gift cards as part of their mystery shopper assignment. Then they provide the gift cards to show that they did it. But what happens is that check that the victim deposits that's supposed to cover the costs, it bounces. But by then, it's a couple days later, and it's too late. The victim already gave the gift card numbers to the scammers, which is $2,000. They asked the victim to go purchase $2,000 worth of gift cards in this letter. And again, the letter includes a check. Here's an example of the check. So the letter will include a check. And it instructs the victim to deposit the check and then go purchase these gift cards and send them. So a couple of the victims sitting there thinking, all right, great, I did it. I made $480. But the next thing you know, a couple of days later, the check gets reversed. The victim gets stuck being $2,000, losing $2,000. They don't get any commission of $450. That was a lie. There was no commission because the check's fake. And the scammer gets away with $2,000 worth of gift cards. You know, and the key to this one is the victim thinks that they've been selected for to be a secret shopper. Maybe they applied to in the past, but they think it's okay. I can make $450 easy. Here's another example. This is a different letter. Right, here's the first one. Here's an example of the second one. No different amounts, but the same idea. The person says Walgreens and CVS. Instructs the person to deposit a check. This letter actually specifically tells them a list of stores to go buy these gift cards from. They could go to Walgreens, Best Buy, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, Family Dollar, Meijer, Kroger, Safeway, Dollar General, Walmart, Speedway, Albertsons. So it tells them to go to all these. You go to any of these stores and buy. This one wants Apple gift cards. So they instruct the victim to purchase $1,500 in Apple gift cards. But it works the same way. They'll purchase the gift cards, provide them to the scammer, but a couple days later, that check that's supposed to cover bounces, and the victim's stuck paying. And on top of that, the bank charges the victim a fee for depositing a bad check. So, in the first example here, so in the second example, asks for Apple gift cards. In the first example, this one asks for Apple gift cards, a few different types. Apple gift cards, or Razer Gold gift cards, Nike gift cards, or Steam Wallet gift cards. So this one, so the first example lists a few different types of gift cards that they'll have you buy. And the second one only wants Apple gift cards, but it lists a whole bunch of different stores you could go to and purchase them. But these are two examples of actual snail mail letters going out. And again, they include a check. The envelope will include a check like this, for the victim to deposit. And the victim thinks, wow, I mean, the check's in the letter. It must be, I'll go deposit it right now. They don't realize that it'll take a couple days, but the bank eventually will reverse it or decline it. But by then it's too late. They already spent $2,000 purchasing gift cards, and the scammer already made off with them. As soon as they get that money gets sent to the scammer, those gift card numbers, that's it. The scammer's going to either liquidate the funds or resell them and get, so yeah, that's the last scam example. And that's less snail mail. Scam example is a secret survey and mystery shopper scam. So watch out for these letters if you receive them, especially if they've got an envelope in them. And again, we did a video about that scam. It's the newest one. We just released it on Tuesday, so check that out. And some key takeaways about the secret survey, check scam. Right, scammers still use the postal service to target individuals with snail mail scams. Just because you receive a letter in the mail, that doesn't mean it can be trusted. Right, so always keep that in mind. Don't trust unsolicited letters that include a check in the envelope. Even if a check appears legitimate, wait for it clear before using the funds. One up that, call up the bank it's supposedly from and verify the funds are there. Takeaway number 3. Any request to purchase gift cards should be considered a red flag. We talk about that a lot. Scammers love receiving gift cards. Be suspicious of any requests for gift cards. And a lot of these scams we discussed tonight, a lot of them involve the gift cards. And we even talked about that on our red flags video, or our red flags portion, which we have a video for that you should definitely go check it out if you missed that portion of our live stream. We have a video about 5 red flags. And it's key to being aware and how to spot a scammer. And the 4th takeaway was receiving a job offer. We didn't talk much about job scams, but receiving a job offer without applying is a red flag. Right? If you're just getting some random letter about being a secret shopper, or a text message in a lot of cases, it's a red flag. Legitimate job offers won't ask you to deposit and send back money. All right, so the secret survey check scam was one example of that. But that's very common in job offer scams. They'll send you a check and they'll tell you to purchase something with it as part of the job. But then a check bounces and the scammer gets away with it. Sometimes they'll tell you to purchase equipment and send it in to be onboarded. That's a scam too. They just tricked you into buying them a laptop. You're never going to see a laptop again. So be suspicious of job offers that you didn't apply for. Especially if they ask you to spend money and send it back, or to purchase something and send that to them. All right, we're getting to the last, towards the end of our live stream here. We got one more segment, we'll call it, this live stream we'd like to do before we wrap up. And it's a fun one. Right, so we mentioned earlier the tools and software page on Scamware 101. And we mentioned the scam tracking map. We have links to the scam tracking map here on our tools and software page. But what we like to do is we like to bring up the AARP scam tracking map. And we'll see what scams are being reported this week to the AARP and where they're popping up. But before we get started on that, real quick, I see some more viewers, so it's awesome to see you. Thank you for joining. If you're just joining, my name is Jared. I'm with Scamaware 101. We do this live stream every week to spread awareness about scams. You can join our free mailing list on our website, scamaware101.com. Getting a couple errors popping up. Let me know if there's any connection issues, but I'm going to continue. We do this every week, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Time, so we've been going for about over 3 hours now. And today we went over 20 different types of scams. We went over red flags to be aware of, how to spot these scammers, how to identify when you're talking to a scammer. We showed examples of phone calls, emails, text messages that weren't about these scams, and our goal is to spread awareness. So click that thumbs up. It'll help us spread awareness. Also, if you haven't yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have a lot of videos about the scams we went over tonight, and even the red flags, the 5 red flags, we have a video about that. So check out those videos a little later. You can share them with your loved ones. And you can follow us on social media too. Your favorite social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Threads, Instagram, X, Blue Sky. We have links to each of those on our homepage here. Scamware 101, our username on each of them. And while you're here, don't forget to join our free mailing list. Click Join Mailing List. Just make sure to confirm your email. Check your junk mail. We appreciate any support we could get. We do have a donate link at the bottom of our website. So if you love our mission here and you love what we're trying to do and you want to support financially, we'll take it. So we got the donate button down here. We appreciate that, but certainly don't feel obligated. You know, we just want to spread awareness, and we're happy if you just click like and just help spread the word. With that said, let's get started on the last portion of our live stream here and take a look at the AARP scam tracking map. Again, this link, it's on our Scamaware 101 site, scamaware101.com, and on our tools and software page, all the way at the bottom, we have a link to AARP's scam tracking map. And this is fun. You can put in the area you're at, or you can clear it out. I'm actually gonna clear it out and see what's being reported in the entire country here. And we see the newest reports at top, and it's a couple days, delayed by a couple days. So the latest reports are a few days ago, from the 18th. All right. So let's see what types of reports people are scamming. And sometimes there's some ones I don't really go over, but let's see. Auto-related scam. A dealership stole my car via their methods of communicating to me, and I mean that's between him and his dealership. We're not going to talk about that one. Debt-related scam. Received a phone call from an outstanding debt of $7,000. The scary part was that she knew my name and cell phone number. Let's look at this one a little bit more and see what else they knew, because this might be a good example of just scammers already know a lot about us, and they'll use it when they're targeting us with scams. So she said she received a phone call for an outstanding debt of $7,000. The scary part was that she knew my name and cell phone number. I hung up on her. Well, that's the very minimum of what these scammers know. I mean, if they're calling your phone, they probably already know your name in most cases. But yeah, so that's an example of some, watch out for these scam calls calling up saying you owe money. For whatever reason, if someone's calling you unsolicited saying you owe money, be suspicious. Fake DMV scam. She doesn't give any more info, but I'm going to assume that's an unpaid road toll scam, which we talked about, and that we're probably going to see mentioned here like 10 more times as we go through these results. Business imposter scam. They keep telling me I owe money on a SunPass account when I have a prepaid Sun. There you go. So there's a second report of an unpaid toll scam. This one specifically is saying it's SunPass. So anybody in Florida, anybody with SunPass, be aware of this scam. You know, if you get notification from SunPass, go open your actual SunPass app and, you know, verify anything in your actual app. Don't click any of these links. Don't trust any text messages. Don't call any phone numbers that, you know, they might be telling you to. So that's already, we're on the first page, and that's already 2 reports of that unpaid road toll scam. So let's take a look at the next page here. Sarah, 920, keeps calling for my social security number, says she wants to mail me a new card. All right, so that person says somebody's calling them trying to impersonate social security. And in this case, they're claiming that they're trying to mail her a new card. And that's to steal personal information from her. So that's a interesting social security scam right there. They're calling up, impersonating social security, saying they're going to send you a new card. But tell me all your personal information and banking information and all this other stuff, right? They'll probably tell her identity's been stolen, and they'll probably try to tell her to move money out of her bank accounts, and it evolves. It evolves until the person realizes they're being scammed. It will evolve to one scam after the other until the person realizes. Let's see what else here. I received a text saying it was from my bank. Oh, here we go. Inquiring if I had authorized an Apple Pay of $2,500. So there we go. That's a perfect example. We just talked about these fake text messages that, you know, bank impersonation. And we started off the live stream showing you some examples of text messages that they impersonated the bank, claiming there'd been a transaction on your account. And that's what this person's reporting here. And also keep in mind, phone calls too. When those phone calls from the bank, these scammers, they impersonate your bank, and your caller ID will show the bank's phone number, even though it's not. Never trust caller ID. Never trust caller ID. The scammers can manipulate the phone number that shows. So they're calling you pretending to be the bank. Your caller ID might show the bank's phone number. That doesn't mean you could trust it. Hang up and call your bank directly if you're concerned. Oh, this one. I had a tarot card reading last year. We're not going to get into that one, but that one sounds like it could be entertaining. I don't usually worry about the tarot card stuff, though. I'll let somebody else deal with that niche of the market here. I received an automated phone call from Bank of America as the... There you go. I literally just said this. I received an automated phone call from Bank of America as the caller ID phone number was the Bank of America phone number. See, there's somebody reporting it right there. And I literally just said that a couple seconds ago, right? So it's happening. It's happening. These bank impersonation scams where they call and the phone number shows the bank, you can't trust it. These scammers that the arrest warrant scams or jury duty scams, they're impersonating a sheriff's office, and the phone number says it's the sheriff's office. You can't trust it. Social Security scammers, they call your phone. The phone number shows Social Security. You can't trust that. You got to hang up and you got to verify. Right? There's basically no circumstance where you really can't hang up, where you really shouldn't hang up and verify. Even if the person that called you tries to confirm that they are who they are, but telling you all this personal information about your stuff, you can't trust it. Scammers, you don't know if scammers have that information, right? They might have the information. They're using it against you. You have to hang up and you have to call whoever, your bank directly, to verify. And this report right here is just another example. It's happening. Next, real estate related scam. While trying to find a new place to rent, these scammers try to get thousands of dollars from us. Real estate scams they're a thing, especially these rental scams. You do have to watch out for them. Never give money to someone up front or remotely. Right? Make sure you go and see the place. These apartment scams too. A lot of these scammers, sometimes they can actually get you into a place, give you a tour somehow. Sometimes they're able to do that, which is crazy. But I guess the number one rule would be the safest bet is just verify who actually owns the property. Make sure that you're renting a place, you're going to pay for rent. Make sure you're communicating with whoever's the actual landlord of that property. I think that's usually public information. Probably Google it. But at the very least, be aware of these real estate scams. There's lots of fake rentals out there and property. There's been stories of people's houses and lots being sold because of fake deeds and fake titles, right? And that goes for all property. With the real estate, cars, recently people have been selling their cars or purchasing a car, and then they realized that the car didn't even exist. So, but anyway. Yeah, we'll continue, but that's a report. Watch out for those apartment scams. We didn't talk about them much, or real estate scams, but they're out there. Gift card scams and fraud. I was on a social platform, first contact Facebook. All right, let's see what this person's story says. I was on a social platform, first contact Facebook. I graduated to getting next to me very fast. Then came the gift card scams. I've lost tens of thousands of dollars in the scams of different degree. I'm 70 years old and retired veteran. I didn't give us too much information there, but right off the bat, gift cards, red flag, right? That's why we talk about gift cards in the red flag video. As soon as a gift card comes up, stop, right? The person's trying to scam you. And this person was approached on Facebook. And we mentioned them briefly earlier, but of course you got to be careful on Facebook, whether it's people messaging you or the fake comments. I'm putting together some more examples in the future for that, but there's just so many. But it's coming. Stay tuned for that. Anyway, let's check out another page or two of results here, and then we'll get this wrapped up. Scammer impersonated a YouTuber from YouTube using the page and then WhatsApp to communicate. So there we go. Celebrity impersonation is a thing. Not even just celebrities, but just influencers or kind of like personalities, even if it's just small markets that these people are known in, it's still enough for these scammers to create fake profiles and impersonate them. In this case, it was a YouTuber. They impersonated a YouTuber and asked them to communicate on WhatsApp. There's a red flag. We talked about that red flag earlier. They try to direct you to WhatsApp or Telegram to communicate. All right. Let's see what else he says about this. He says he gives a little bit more info. But you have to be careful about that. I actually have a lot of scammers. They impersonate people I follow, and they send me messages with these fake profiles that look like that person. Scammer impersonated a YouTube page, WhatsApp, then proceeded to state they wanted to help people. Post was over Mother's Day, and they used that to lure me in. Then proceeded to state that a tax or gas fee had to be paid to receive the donated funds, since said gift was in Bitcoin. Yeah, I don't know. It's not clear enough for me to understand the full details of that, but there's red flags galore. You know, they mentioned Bitcoin, they mentioned gift cards. They were contacted through YouTube, you know, by a YouTuber. Yeah. Check out a couple more here and I'll get this wrapped up. In the meantime, last chance to hit that thumbs up. Give us a like if you haven't yet. Subscribe if you haven't yet. One last time, say hello in the chat. You know, let us know what you've experienced or just say hi. Let us know you have found us. And don't forget to join our free mailing list. Go to scamaware101.com and click join mailing list. It's free. And we'll keep you updated what we're doing when we're going live and send you some useful scam awareness tips. There's another report about home-related scams. Said it was the owner of a rental property. Yeah, so these rental scams are pretty popular and happening. They're on my list. I'll get some info gathered about them, some more info. Health-related scam. Received a cell phone call related to my Medicare card. They recited my name, address, birth date. Let's see what this says. Because these scams are these Medicare scams, especially because of that breach that happened, that healthcare breach that happened last year. It basically gave the scammers millions of people to try and target with these Medicare scams, and they'll know information about you. So in this case, this report says they received a cell phone call related to my Medicare card. They recited my name, address, birth date, but when it came to my Medicare number, I felt it was a scam, so I refused. She said I would not get a new card now, so I hung up. Yeah, so this is what they do. It sounds similar to the Social Security one where they said the person said she got a call for Social Security and they said they were sending her a new card. So it sounds like that's what was happening with this, except it was for Medicare. They were calling her and they were saying they needed all this information to send her a new card. And they knew some of her details. They knew her name, they knew her address, they knew her birth date. Right? Because that data, that information to her was probably available in a breach. But it looks like they were trying to get her Medicare card or a Medicare number, which is a very common scam. You should never give your Medicare number to any random unsolicited phone call that just calls you. Even if they're saying we're calling to send you a new one, that's, you know, like they did in this case, this lady was smart and she realized it was a scam. So keep that in mind. Know that's a scam. They're trying to get your Medicare numbers so they can do all sorts of fraud using your Medicare number. Take a look at one more page here and then we'll get wrapped up. Online relationship scam. DoorDash number last used comes up cryptocurrencies. What the heck? I don't know what they're talking about here. Just for kicks. Let's see what they said in here. No idea what this person means. Oh well. But I do know this next one. PG&E power shutdown. So this is an important one. I'm glad we came across this because I hadn't covered this one on our live stream, and it is a pretty common scam. These fake utility impersonation scams. They'll call you up and they'll impersonate your utility company, whether it's your power company or your water company, or and they'll say that they're going to turn off your power if you don't pay your bill. You have a bill due, right? So, very common scam, utility impersonation. Someone's reporting it here. We've seen so many different examples of this, impersonating all different utility and electric power companies, right? So be aware of this if you ever get a random call from somebody claiming to be with your power company, claiming that you owe money, threatening to turn you off. It is a very common scam. And in person, there's been in-person cases too, where someone will come to the door, they claim with your power company. To be safe, you should really, before you let anybody in, call your power company and see if it's really them. Because that's, it's a big scam that's happening. So I'll be suspicious. Almost wrapped up here. Let's see what the last two scam reports are. Business imposter scam. We received an email for Gorilla Cart from Tractor Supply. Thought it was a great deal. Well, I'm going to skip this because it just seems to be... it's Gorilla. Let's see what he says. Received email for Gorilla Cart Tractor Supply. Thought it was a great deal. Several people said they received theirs. However, it was a scam. After giving my credit card info, called Tractor Supply and they confirmed it was a scam. Okay, so this is actually a pretty good example of a phishing email scam. The victim got an email they thought was from Tractor Supply. It had a great offer, and he clicked the link. Obviously took him to a fake website, and he gave him their credit card details. So he fell for the fake offer. Yeah, that's a great example of just a very common phishing. They call it phishing, email phishing, when they send you an email like this. They just send out they blast the same email out to hundreds of thousands of people, and there's a numbers game. Some people are gonna, click that link. This guy sounds like he knows. He uses tractor. I don't know what a grill cart is or anything, so it sounds like this guy's familiar with that type of thing. He's familiar with who Tractor Supply is, so he gets an email like that. To him, it's not suspicious. Oh man, there's Tractor Supply. I already know. I used them. Sent me an offer, but I just didn't realize it was a fake email, fake link, and scammers got his info. So it's a good example of watch out for any email offers. You can't just trust links. All right, and then the last one. This is good. This is a what is tech support scam fees? I was to purchase a Boston Terrier on Facebook. Oh, this is a pet scam. Okay, I guess we'll wrap up on this one. I don't know why I say they call it tech support scam though. Oh, let's see what this last report is. Okay. So this is categorized wrong. It's not a tech support scam. It's actually a pet scam. We didn't cover this one. Sometimes we do. We didn't this live stream, but you know what? Let's talk about it real quick. This report says I was going to purchase a Boston Terrier on Facebook. You select the dog you want, then you send a deposit, other fees. You have to pay fees for registering the pet, fees for transport, fees for rabies, fees to cross interstate, fees for boarding fees. By the time you are required to pay all these extra expenses, you've lost thousands of dollars and never got the puppy, right? So it's a scam. And these pet scams, you do hear about them a lot. These scammers do list fake listings for pets. And, I think most people like to make sure they see pets in person before paying, but, some people, they probably fall in love with the picture and they're like, that's it, we got to pay now. And, and they probably get pulled into this. It's little emotional tricks that some of these scammers use. They'll pull on your heartstrings with a nice little adorable puppy picture, and next thing you know, you're paying thousands of dollars, and you're not even talking to a real dealer or going to get a puppy. So anyway, at the very least, you need to be aware of these pet scams. They are out there. And just to add on to that, another type of pet scam, we do talk about this one sometime, might as well mention it real quick, is these lost pet scams. If you're a pet owner, it's important to be aware of this scam. So if you have God forbid your pet ever gets out or escapes, and you're hanging up flyers or posting online about your lost pet, what these scammers will do is they'll call you. They'll call the number of these poor lost pet owners. They'll call them and they'll say, "We found your pet. He's been injured, but he's at the animal hospital, and you need to pay for emergency surgery," right? And these poor pet owners, they're thinking, "Oh, I lost." They're thinking, well, at least my pet's found, but let me pay for surgery and this and that. And they're paying money to these scammers who they think found their pet. And then when all is said and done, they find out that it was a scammer and their pet wasn't even found. So it's still lost. So it's a pretty heartless scam. That's what a lost pet scam. So if you're a pet owner, just be aware of that. If you're ever in that situation, be aware that the scammers, that they'll target you. They'll call, they'll say your pet's been in an accident and that you need to send money, to get her to the hospital and this and that. So just be aware of that one. And on that note, so those are some of the recent scams that are being reported throughout the U.S., on the AARP scam tracking map, which is a pretty cool tool that we'd like to just check out. And it gives us an idea if we cover if we're on the right track with the scams we've been covering, or if there's some we need to add and cover more often. And there's a lot of good confirmation that the ones we're covering are out there, and definitely a few other ones that were fun to add in at the end of the live stream here. So on that note, I think it's about time to get this wrapped up. Thank you to everybody who watched us, who watched this live stream. I appreciate it. Thank you to everybody that subscribed and clicked like, follows our content. If you haven't joined our email list yet, please take a moment over on scamaware101.com. You can click join mailing list. Again, make sure to check your junk mail folder for the confirmation. And follow us on your favorite social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Threads, Instagram, X, Blue Sky. We appreciate any followers and any support we could get. Oh, also, if you want to support the mission financially, again, we have the donate link on our website or at the bottom of the page here. So click that and you can send us some cash. We'll take it. We'll put it to a good cause and see if we could spread more awareness of these scams. All right, everybody. Last chance to hit that like button. Again, I'm Jared with ScamAware 101. Thank you for watching the live stream. We appreciate it. Do it every week. Hope to see you next week. We saw some new faces this week, some old faces. This is great. I should say old faces, return faces. They made me call you old. Return faces. And we appreciate them all. So thank you again. Thank you for watching. Spread awareness. Hope you learned something or found some things you could share with some loved ones. And we'll see you next week. Until then, stay safe. See you next time.